Mike Missanelli Show, and what a victory for your fighting Phils last night. And they got relief pitching, although listen, Tanner Banks didn't do anybody any favors last night. But they did grind it out with a big home run by Bryson Stott and then win the game in extras. And they get pitching from the unlikely source, Carlos Hernandez. How about the Phils last night? Billy is with me. Ray is with me. The fighting Phils are on a streak, Bill. What is that streak? Tell me. 9 of what?
They've won 9 of 11. They're now 22-15 on the season. You know, I like to look at the series wins. They've won 8 of 12 series. They've only lost 3. And a lot of players are heating up, Mike. Trey Turner, last 17 games, he's hitting close to 400 with a 936 OPS. Brandon Marsh, the Beard, since returning from AAA, 5 for his last 11. That's pretty damn good. And you mentioned that Bryson Stott at the leadoff spot is doing some things that we've been waiting for from that leadoff spot. So all is well with the Philadelphia Phillies.
They're getting some offense. Now, last night, let's go to the top of the 8th with Uceta in there. He gets an out. He gives up a single. He gets another out. And then Marsh flips a single to left field. And Bryson Stott, 409, a crush shot to make it 5-4. And then Tom McCarthy thought the game was tied. As Trey Turner smashed one to left field. Off the bat, it looked like it was going to be gone. It actually should have been caught, but it went off the glove, and he got a double on that, and they didn't score there. But then they come back, and they get the tying run in the top of the 9th inning on a ground out to third base after they put some people on base. And then they persevere in extra innings with a Marsh double, scoring Sosa. And the Phils win again. I got to tell you right now, I admire what the Phillies are doing right now. I hate to watch a bad team like Tampa Bay. They stink.
Yeah, they do stink.
They really do. What has happened to that franchise? They used to be decent.
Yeah, I mean, the manager's been there for what seems like forever. And he's got a winning record, so the team's been good during his tenure. But, yeah, they're bad this year.
So let's look at the heroes in the bullpen. Carlos Hernandez, Jordan Romano, Alvarado kept it tied. Schramm gave up a meaningless run in the 10th. But the bullpen, you predicted it. The bullpen's starting to come alive a little bit, getting contributions from unlikely people.
Yeah, I mean, it's all good right now. I mean, everything is good with this Phillies team. It's just, can they continue it? And it's a 162-game season. We know there's ebbs and flows to it. But they do look good. And it's not just the bullpen. Luzardo, not his best outing, but he goes 5 1/3, only gives up 2 earned. And then, like you said, Hernandez comes in to get him out of that jam. But what they're doing at the plate, I love, too. It's not only the long ball. Like last night, yeah, Bryson Stott hits the 3-run shot, but they're also playing small ball when they have to. How about Bryson Stott? He has the 3-run home run in the 8th, and then he comes back up in the 10th after Brandon Marsh's double, and he lays down a perfect sac bunt to get Marsh over to third, and then they're able to get that extra run, which it turns out they needed because Strom gives up a run in the bottom of the 10th. So it's like they're doing the little things as well, and I got to give Rob Thompson credit. He's making a lot of right calls here. Schwarber gets on base. He pinch runs with Rojas.
I knew you were going to bring up your boy.
Yes.
How about your boy last night going from first to third on an errant pickoff throw? Now, and loving himself for it.
Yeah, see, now that you pointed that out, and Ray pointed out the fact that he intentionally knocks off the helmet, I'm starting to feel that way too. Like, I like what he's giving us. Well, come on, Rojas.
He thinks he's wonderful, man.
He loves himself
some Rojas. He really does love himself some Rojas. But he winds up scoring on the ground out. That tied the game, so that's all good. All right, so today we're going to talk about that. We're also going to talk about the interview with Daryl Morey yesterday and the things that he said that may have irritated you or made you happy. I don't know. He said it was a disaster of a season, but we're going to be better next year. He almost guaranteed that they were going to be better. He said they're committed to Joel, Paul, and Tyrese as the big 3. They believe Paul George is going to be bouncing back. And he said, I am good at this winning thing. Now, we're going to have some sound bites during the course of the day. And if you heard the interview yesterday or if you caught up with it last night, and you want to comment, please do. 610-632-0975 is how you get in. But this weekend and Sunday is also Mother's Day, Bill and Ray. And you guys both have mothers. and my mother has passed. But I would like to make this kind of a referendum on moms today, and what memories you have of mom that stick out in your head, things that she did for you or didn't do for you that put forth a lesson, the biggest lesson that came from your mom. I'd love to hear your stories.
Oh, wow. We're going to get deep
Do you happen to have one, Bill?
I'd have to think about a specific story. But one of the things I always say about my mom that I think she did such a great job with was she loved me. And she made me feel loved all of the time, no matter what, which sometimes that's all you need. Like when I had kids, that's what I said. As long as you love them, you'll figure out all the other things.
Yeah.
So my mom was always great and very supportive. I mean, I was an only child, so maybe it was a little bit easier, but every sporting event she didn't miss. No matter what I was in, she was there. So happy Mother's Day, Mom.
Yeah, happy Mother's Day. Ray, how you doing? Good morning to you.
Good morning. How are you?
How do you feel about the Phillies? How do you feel about Daryl Morey? But mostly, how do you feel about your mom?
Feel great about the Phils. Still feel gross about the Morey interview. I feel wonderful about my mom. I think similar to the sentiments that Bill just shared. I think I didn't realize in the moment how incredible it was. My mom keeping everything together with 3 kids. My dad did a lot of traveling for work. So, like, the number of things that she was able to juggle between sports, between, CCD, between all the after-school activities, one's doing this, one's doing that. The ability to get all of us there. And I don't remember a time where we missed something because of, lack of organization. The fact that she kept dinner on the table, people everywhere they needed to be, and we could do pretty much what we wanted, no matter what. That was incredibly impressive. So that's like the one thing, the supportive nature and the fact that I feel like I can do a lot of things because of what she was able to put together for us is very special.
That's
the sentiment that I would like to share.
That's an awesome sentiment. I have a sentiment. My mother was one of the kindest people I've ever come across. She was just naturally a kind woman, and I felt terrible when I let her down.
Yes.
Like I remember specifically getting drunk underage on Boone's Farm strawberry wine.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Probably a terrible hangover.
Anyway, it was the first time I really drank to excess. And so I came home and I had the spins the whole bit. First time ever. I must have been, I don't know. Was I 15 or 16? It might have been 15. So I go out to the front porch and I had a vomit session that you can't believe. Right? This is the first time I vomited from alcohol.
And your mom knew it?
Well, she heard me stir. So this was like late at night when I rolled in. And she heard me stir. So she came out to the porch and she saw all this vomit. And she goes, "Have you been drinking?" And I lied to her. And I said, no, I was eating bad strawberries because it smelled like strawberry. And I felt, and she turned away from me like, not only did you drink underage, but you lied to me. And she just walked away from me. And I felt terrible that I had let her down like that. Yes. And I carry, listen, it's 50 freaking years later, and I still carry it with me.
Man, it's interesting. Like, she didn't even have to punish you.
No.
The punishment was her being disappointed.
She just was very disappointed and just walked away. Didn't even yell at me.
Man.
I left a mark, man.
Yeah, it would. It would. Yeah, I always had the relationship with my mom, too, where I probably told her too much.
Yeah?
Like, I could trust my mother, and I would go to her with things that maybe you shouldn't talk to your mom
Like girl
about.
problems and such?
Everything.
Really?
Like, my mom knew everything. Huh. My mom always thought I was cooler than I was, though, I think. Like, you better not be doing this, Billy. I'm like, I wish I was. I'm not. I wish I was.
Really? You were a good kid?
Yeah.
Like she didn't catch you.
I think my mom thought I was like cooler and badder than I was.
She didn't catch you stoned ever?
No. Nothing like that. You know?
With your eyes glassy?
Yeah, but like, you better be practicing safe sex. I wish I was. I wish.
Wait, you weren't practicing safe sex?
I wasn't having sex. What are you talking about? I wish.
All right, so we'll play some sound bites of the Morey interview. We already have a caller on hold who wants to talk about it. So if you hadn't had a chance to talk about it, you want to talk about anything he said, listen, I'm not going to sit here and bury Morey yesterday. I thought I buried him enough in that interview. I've been pretty clear on my opinion on the way Daryl Morey has handled his franchise. So if you want to get in and talk about it, it's 610-632-0975. That's 610-632-0975. Our text board is open. Our phone lines are open. It is a Mother's Day Friday. Share your stories about Mom. on the Mike Missanelli Show on 97.5 The Fanatic.
Connor Thomas.
Here's the thing with Aaron.
Let me tell you another aggravating moment today as a person who doesn't like egg. I pop into a Wawa this morning. All I want was a sausage, bagel, cheese. Of course, there's nothing on the shelf there. So I have to order. I said, can you give me a bagel with sausage and cheese? Guy goes, what, no egg? I go, no egg. It takes them 15 minutes to whip this thing up. It's a piece of sausage that you slap on a toasted bagel with a piece of cheese on it.
Serves you right.
Right. So then I go to
Serves you right. You should be.
I go to check it out, and they check it out, and it comes out sausage bagel with egg. I go, no, I ain't got the egg. She goes, well, it's the same price.
Good.
And I go, how could it be the same price? Why would it be the same price?
Especially,
Seriously.
Yeah,
It's without the egg.
they're just punishing you.
It was $3.99. It should be $2.99. There's 3 components: bagel, sausage, egg. Divided by 3.
Yeah, you're probably correct. But then this leads me down to people who eat eggs. Let's talk about this. If you order egg whites, why is it more expensive?
It's still the egg. You're breaking the egg. You pay for the whole egg. You can't pay for half the egg.
I'm not saying it should be cheaper. It costs you more money to get egg whites.
Well, because it's harder to separate the egg. You got to put it's a work product.
The half a second it takes to remove the yolk?
Do you know how hard it is to remove a yolk? You think it's easy to remove a yolk?
First of all, a lot of these places
You got to crack the egg in half. You got to do this to it. Or you got to punch a hole in it and squeeze the egg white out.
assuming that they're cracking an egg and removing the yolk. Sometimes you just get the container of egg whites.
You got to put a work product in to get an egg white. That's justifiable. It is not justifiable that I am saving you the cost of an egg and you're not passing me on the savings.
Now, I'm with you on this. And for the record, I'm not an egg white guy. I like the yolk. I like the whole
I know
egg.
you're a yolk man. I get it. But listen, and Ray thinks I'm crazy. Ray, try to explain to me why I have to pay full price for a bagel that doesn't have the egg.
Well, because it's really a pain for them to have to get rid of the egg because they make it the same way every time.
What do you mean it's a pain? They're not putting the egg on top of my sausage. That's the only thing they're not doing.
Yeah, but they've been taught to make it, and they're probably putting the products out there, ordering the products with this certain number of sandwiches to be sold at that price point.
Your rationale is terrible. Your rationale makes no sense.
Your palate is terrible for not liking eggs.
My palate is perfectly fine. I have saved myself a ton of cholesterol over the years from not liking eggs.
I'm with Ray that your palate's off, but I do agree with Mike. It should cost less. They shouldn't be able to charge
We only
you
have
the same.
one price.
It's like ordering a pepperoni pizza but saying you don't want pepperoni. You're not paying for the
That's
pepperoni.
totally
Exactly.
different.
No,
That's
it's
totally
not.
different.
It's not totally different.
That is totally different.
It's part of the whole package. It's cost you more to put egg on there. So save me the money. Don't put the egg on it.
Or what about a hamburger or a cheeseburger? You pay more for the cheese.
You do.
Yeah, the
similar-
cheese is much, much less essential to the breakfast sandwich than the egg.
Which would make it even more, towards Mike's point, then it should cost less. If the egg is such an essential piece that it's being removed.
I think they're shocked that someone would eat something.
Oh, yeah, that's
without the egg.
you're right on that.
I go. She goes, well, we only have one price. I go, why do you only have one price? Well, it's in the computer that way. I go, you have control over the computer, right, corporate? Like, why can't corporate put in a part where it says no egg? Like, is it that difficult? I'm sick of this prejudice against non-egg people.
You are crazy for this take.
It's nuts. It's nuts.
Has this been your whole life,
It's
no
like
eggs?
we don't exist.
Has this been your whole life?
Yes. We don't exist because we don't like eggs. It's not right.
Now, we were honoring our mothers earlier.
Yes.
And your mom, you said, was a very kind person.
My mother would try to trick me.
How would she do that?
She would try to trick me by making potato salad that only had the hard-boiled egg white part about it.
Oh, you couldn't tell the difference.
And I thought it was an onion.
Yeah, you couldn't tell the difference. But what about breakfast at the Missanelli home when you were a kid?
We had no breakfast.
Eggs weren't no breakfast. I forgot.
I didn't have
they couldn't afford breakfast, Ray. I forgot.
You think my mom
They only had one meal a day. It was cabbage water.
I grabbed
and every once in a while, Mike would come home with a loaf of bread.
I was lucky if I grabbed a Pop-Tart.
He was like
breakfast.
Charlie Bucket from Willy Wonka. We'll have a real feast. It was a piece of bread. But really, she never made breakfast?
Was ever going to happen to you?
No, she worked.
You never had breakfast at the
No,
Missanelli home?
I don't remember having breakfast. We all had different times we had to get out of the house. So we made ourselves toast or whatever.
Little cereal?
Maybe cereal.
Little raisin bran?
Yeah, we didn't sit down like Father Knows Best and sit around the table and have breakfast
What
in the
about a
morning.
nice Saturday morning, Sunday morning?
Well, that's different.
That's what I mean.
I had hoagies on Sunday morning for breakfast.
Did you?
Yes.
Egg salad hoagie?
No, it was not. It was not an egg salad hoagie. See, now I've wasted time. Then we're up against another break. On the other side, we're going to play the golden hit by Daryl Morey yesterday, where he said, "I'm pretty good at this winning thing." It's fantastic. I love it. And we have Mark and Ish on hold. We'll get to you guys. And meanwhile, you can get in 610-632-0975, $3.99 for our sausage and cheese without egg. It's outrageous. Mike Missanelli Show continues.
Fanatic Sports update.
Phillies sweep the Rays. I'm Ray Dunn with this Fanatic Sports Update. The Phillies rallied from a 5-1 deficit in the 8th to beat the Rays 7-6 in 10 innings last night. Bryson Stott hit a 3-run homer in the 8th. Max Kepler drove in the tying run in the 9th. Brandon Marsh gave the Phillies a lead with a double in the 10th. It's the second series sweep for the Phillies this season. They're now 22-15 on the year. Before they head to Cleveland for a 3-game set that starts tonight against the Guardians. Aaron Nola on the mound against Gavin Williams with first pitch tonight at 7:10. Elsewhere in town, we're days away from the NBA draft lottery, where the Sixers are looking to land a top 6 pick. And to do that, that would keep their pick, because anything below that, they will lose their pick. President of Basketball Operations Daryl Morey joined us on the Mike Missanelli Show yesterday and talked through a lot of things, including Morey's belief that the best of Joel Embiid is still there.
No, I don't think that's written. I don't think we know that. I think MVP Joel Embiid is still potentially there. He's in an age where lots of players still play to their prime. He's in an age where lots of players, even with issues, have come back and played at a high level. So, no, I do not think that.
You can hear the whole interview with Morey on our website, 975thefanatic.com. This update is brought to you by Robert Half. Their recruiters' expertise and award-winning AI will find you the skilled candidates you want. At Robert Half, they know talent. Visit roberthalf.com/talent today. I'm Ray Dunn, your home for Truist Championship coverage, 975 The Fanatic and 975thefanatic.com.
1026, Mike Missanelli Show, 97.5 The Fanatic. Here's how you get in, 610-632-0975. All right, so yesterday we had Daryl Morey on, the president of basketball operations for the 76ers. And I pretty much have been clear that I don't think that he should have been able to hold on to his job. So I was trying to figure out a way to say that without directly saying it. And I think that the way I phrased it was, well, many people would have lost their job after a season like that because the NBA is a harsh league and blah, 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 blah. So, right, let's start out with how I mentioned it was a disastrous season. So Daryl Morey won, and here was his initial answer to it.
It was a disaster season. There's really no way to say anything but that. Look, I would say the roster next year is going to be much stronger. One thing when you have a disaster season is how do you take advantage of it? You want to give yourself a chance at a high pick in the draft, which we have. We've got an early second. Next year, our roster will be more athletic and younger with Grimes, with Edwards, with Bona, with Jared McCain, with potentially a top draft pick, and we're going to have a healthier team. So I would say, look, hang in. We feel your pain, fans, and, let's play this out next year. We feel very strongly about next year.
Yeah, I don't. I'm sorry, I don't, because what you mentioned to me are speculative young talent and nothing that I can really hang my hat on. He said one thing you have as a disaster season, the good thing is you can take advantage of it. Bill, your thoughts on that?
I wish I could share in his sentiment there, and I can't because you're right. There's just way too much speculative. He also says we're going to be healthier next year. Well, we don't know if we're going to be healthier next year. We don't know that. I guess you could assume Maxi's not going to miss as much time, okay? But we don't know what Embiid's health's going to be. We don't know if Paul George what's Paul George going to be next season, 35? Is that how old he'll be? So we don't know if he's going to be healthier. And then when he talks about the young talent, well, first of all, unless you get the number 1 overall draft pick and it's Cooper Flagg, you're probably not getting a guy that's going to help you next season. Even if you're the number 2 or 3 pick. I don't know if one of these Rutgers guys comes in and is going to contribute that much. But you still have to get one of the top 3 picks to have even a shot at those. And then he says having a high second-round pick. Well, how many second-round picks come into the league as a rookie and actually contribute on a team that has championship aspirations?
Maybe he's thinking he can use the second-round pick for trade advantage. Yeah, you're right about listen, I think Dylan Harper is a pretty good player, right? He's one of the Rutgers guys. Ace Bailey, I'm not so sure about. They don't need another guard. They got to draft Dylan Harper. Where's he fit in the whole picture, right? You got Max, you got McCain, you're high on Grimes, and you can bring. So Ace Bailey is the guy. He is far away, folks. Trust me, from being a major contributor in this league.
Yeah, so it's not going to help you next season.
No, it's not. Now, but my last question was, all right, I've heard now you talk for almost 15 minutes. How can the people trust that you're capable of fixing this? And here is how he answered. Daryl Morey 7, right?
I mean, his first losing season I've ever had, more deep playoff runs than pretty much any executive in league history. I've never been to the lottery. That's, probably because we only win, so I'm pretty good at the winning thing.
Well, I don't know what to say about that. I don't know. We've never been in the lottery. Well, you've been mediocre. That's what that means. I don't know, man.
I don't.
Now, did that shake you a little bit when he said that?
Yeah, it was not. I mean, I think that would be a quote he's probably going to regret. Ray's
bopping.
He is bopping in there. I mean, we used to reserve that for Sirianni.
Right? Your thoughts on all I do is win.
All he does is win, baby. If you ignore 24 and 58, all he does is win, win, win. And
he's got more wins than gone deeper than any executive in the league. He's had more success. Now, we have to check on that, I guess. It's a blanket statement. It's a bold statement.
Yeah, I'm curious. Deeper playoff runs, I guess that would mean getting to conference finals?
Yeah, he's never been to a NBA finals.
Right.
He's been to the conference final. What is that? I don't know what that means. Does that? Right, I'm in Philadelphia. What do I know about conference finals?
You joke. I literally don't. The last time they did it, I can't consciously remember it.
Exactly.
Ray was just born.
Here's the bottom line, Daryl. You haven't done it here. That's for damn sure. All right, let's go to the phones. Let's talk to Mark in Boston, who would like to talk about the Daryl Morey interview. Mark, you're on 97.5 The Fanatic. What's up, buddy?
Hey, Mike. How you doing, man?
Good. How you doing?
Good. Hey, listen, I just want to say I thought you did a great job of, not letting him off the hook yesterday with, you asked him all the hard questions in a tactful way. And I definitely appreciate that because if he could have snaked his way out, I'm sure he would have. But, no, I think it's offensive as for him to treat us like we're stupid and, we don't, we don't know about these things type of, sentiment as if, oh, these guys, they don't understand how this stuff works. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's just disingenuous. We're not dumb. We know we're in trouble right now. We have a 35-year-old injury-prone Paul George who hasn't been in his prime athletically for a long time. And even if he were 100% healthy, he wouldn't play that many games as it is. Who knows if Joel ever plays again? And if he does play again, we don't know what he's going to look like. And then at best case scenario at his age, how many games does he play? Even when Joel's healthy, he doesn't play.
And you know what? That's
games.
the thing. This is what is incomprehensible to me because when I interviewed him at the start of the season, he was on this. It doesn't matter how old star players are. We'd rather have star players. Well, it does. It does matter. Of course, it does matter. When guys get older, don't give me examples of there have been other players that have done it. Kawhi had an okay year. He was in and out of the lineup again. He had an okay. He wasn't a star caliber year for Kawhi.
You don't win with aging players. You win with guys you draft that are in their prime, 26, 27, 28, like Boston.
Exactly. Look at the pace that's being the NBA playoffs are being played at now. You mean to tell me those 34-year-old guys are going to do that? And Embiid is going to do that? Come on, it's over.
I don't know what world he thinks that it's just going to be a magic, aging players with injury history. They're not going to play enough. Even if they're healthy, they're not going to play enough games. Just
I be honest with you, Mark. Morey's got a way of silver talking, and I think this owner is naive enough to fall for that silver talking.
And and what happened? And he talks about the draft pick that's a Hail Mary. I mean, what about you don't just go from the 5th worst record in the NBA to magically competing with
unless you get one player, which is very unlikely, right? It may happen. Listen, next week we may be talking about how luck has shined on the Sixers again in the lottery because it has. When they've been there, the luck has shined on them.
Yeah, Ray was talking about that this morning, that they've been lucky in the lottery, but they haven't necessarily have anything to show for that luck.
No, because they've made the wrong selections.
Correct.
However it worked out, whether their intentions were good, whether they were in the proper spot to take the proper player, it did not work out. Now, maybe it works out this time because there's one spot that it works out. One spot in this whole lottery where it works out.
So let's go down this fantasy land for a second. The lottery balls fall the way we need them to fall. They take Cooper Flag. At that point, are you just putting Cooper Flag on this team with these big three, or are you going to try to trade maybe Paul George? You're going to try to do something?
You know what he's going to do. He's going to play with him with the big three and sell it. It's a much better team. Look at our starting team now. Our starting team is Maxey, Grimes, Cooper Flag, Embiid, Paul George. Now
that would get me excited. I got to be honest. I think I'd get excited.
Of course, you're going to sell that starting five, right?
Yeah.
But why would he trade? If he gets Cooper Flag, why would he trade?
I don't think he would either.
All right.
I don't think he would. But it's just the issue would be if they were to get Cooper Flag.
So you got all excited. It's the same team except one.
I'm like Josh Harris.
One guy made you excited.
I'm clapping with my popcorn. But the issue for me would be if you could get out from under the Paul George contract. Even if they land the number 1 pick and they get Cooper Flag, I'd still would like to see them do that.
He's going to talk about how he improved the team. He's going to trumpet. Look at our starting lineup. We have 2 stars, a burgeoning star, a guy that we plucked out of nowhere to be the 2 guard who could score, and Cooper Flag. Look at what we got. We're threatening the East.
I got to be honest. The more you talk about it,
of course,
I'd be one of those people.
You fall for it just like everybody else.
You'd be like, yeah.
Season
kidding me?
tickets,
You
baby!
fall for
The same
my
stuff.
season tickets.
That's
Thank
exactly why
goodness.
you fall for the fact that the sausage and cheese should be the same price as the egg.
I'm actually getting excited as we're sitting here right now. 9.5% chance
Hey,
for
I
egg.
know
I'm
it.
about to text my
Hey,
buddies. Thank goodness we did it.
Daryl Morey loves people like you, man. Loves them. 610-632-0975. Mike Missanelli Show continues.
We want to hear from you. So text us at 610-6.
Let me give you a little heads up if you're down the shore for Mother's Day. At the winery that I'm involved with called Brigante by the Bay now. It used to be Natali Vineyards. We've got a pretty interesting little event going on Sunday from 11 to 6. So plenty of hours to get down there. It's called Winos for Rhinos, Bill.
Winos for
Briganti
Rhinos.
by the Bay at Natali Vineyards in Cape May Courthouse, Delsey Drive. We got a whole event where we've got live music by the Whiz Wits Rock and Roll Band. They're fun, by the way.
I would assume a local band.
Yeah, and so all day wine events going on, and a portion of all the proceeds go to the Rhino Conservation Society. You know, rhinos are in danger. They're an endangered species. You aware of that?
I did not know that.
Yes. Rhino conservation is very important right now, and we're partnering with the Cape May County Zoo, which you've been to, right?
Lovely zoo.
There you go. All right, so that's Sunday, if you're down there for Mother's Day, in honor of Mother's Day, 11 to 6 at Briganti by the Bay at Natali Vineyards. Okay. 610-632-0975. Ish has been holding for a long time. And the one reason I brought that Mother's Day thing up is because I want everybody to think fondly of their moms today. And tell us the story on how your mom impacted your life in the positive. Whether it was driving you around, whether it was making sure you went to church, whether it was making sure you did your homework. You know?
All that.
You, of course, didn't do a lot of your homework.
I did. I was a good.
I don't know. I don't know about
I was a good student up until high school, I think.
And you found girls at that point?
You know what my problem was?
Well, ADD?
Yeah, well, like in elementary school, I never really had to study. I always got straight A's, and middle school too. So I think I developed bad study habits, and then I had a college and law school. You gotta figure that out.
Yeah, I remember my mom. She didn't come to many of my games, but she came once in one of my little league games. And as you know, I was a precocious athlete as a kid.
Oh yeah,
in all sports.
me and Ray talk about that a lot.
I know you guys talk about it, but I was the typical pitcher star shortstop when I didn't pitch, right? So my mom comes to one game and we're playing this team, and one of the mothers of the kids on the other team goes, "Oh, we're going to see how great this supposed great pitcher is tonight."
Oh,
All right. My mom didn't say anything because she wasn't the type to say anything. But later on, I overheard her tell my dad, that so-and-so said about this about your son.
so she didn't call it out after you went 9 strong innings, struck out 10. She didn't say
six-inning game, 6 innings at Little League.
I know.
Yeah. See, I threw a curveball.
At that age.
Oh, man, I had a lethal curveball. People say, you're not supposed to have your kid throw a curveball. I spun it off. I used to throw it at the kid and then have it break in the inside corner. And then really go like they were terrified.
Yeah, most kids don't throw curves at you.
No, today they do. You kids in the Little League, they throw.
It is bad for
it's
the
all
arm.
breaking. No, it's not. It's
bad
not,
for the arm.
It's not bad for the arm. It's a myth.
Too much spin.
It's a myth. Ish joins us. Ish. You're on 97.5 The Fanatic. What's up, Ish?
Hey, Mike, how are you?
What's happening, buddy?
Hey, I just a quick story about my mom. I just, I want to wish her happy early Mother's Day. My mom has been there for me. I think one of the times she was there for me was when I stole from ShopRite. I stole a video game set, and she said she was going to leave me when the cops came up there. I was like 15 at the time, but she actually stood up there with me through the whole process. So,
Well, did she punish you after that theft?
She didn't, but my dad did. That's a different story. So that was.
Oh wait, did you get nabbed stealing the video set there?
Yeah, they actually brought me into the office. They actually banned me from that ShopRite.
Well,
So
I would have banned
they
you
had my
too,
picture up and everything.
but how did you think you were going to get away with the crime? Did you put it under your shirt, or what'd you do?
I put it in my pants. And I tried to walk out the store, then the guy grabbed me, and he said, "Are you here with anybody?" And I said,
See,
"My
you were
mom,"
shady.
and,
He eyeballed you because you were shady.
yeah. But Mike,
that was good. She stood by you, though, and then you learned a valuable lesson.
Yeah, I definitely did. Yeah, she's always been there for me.
Yep.
And Mike, I just want to send a congratulations. I really appreciate the interview you did with Daryl Morey, because I feel like you was like our voice yesterday, and like you weren't ignorant at all during your interview. You asked the direct questions, and I think that's what everybody like really appreciates about you. And he faced the music, but to me, he sounded like a used car salesman. He was trying to sell us something that we don't believe, and I believe like you actually like put it directly to him. And then I just want to say thank you, because I think all the fans are frustrated about what happened.
I appreciate that, Ish. I mean, I listen. I know that fans are thinking a certain thing, and I can't not ask and go directly at that certain thing, because I'm letting down the people that are listening to the show. Like, if Daryl Morey and his organization paid me money, maybe I'd be kinder, But I work for the people, so I got to answer the question. And if he gets mad, I'll deal with it,
Yeah, and he can't get mad because you're the interviewer and you actually asked the questions everybody wanted you to ask, and you didn't shy or back away from that. And I really appreciate that.
Well, thank you, Ish.
And you're welcome. And last thing, is Ray there?
Ray's there. Yeah, go ahead, get your shot in. Go ahead.
Oh, hey Ray, how are you? Did you bundle up for the rain that was coming? Did you wear your little ski hat and your little sweater?
What is the story?
Stronger one tomorrow. Stronger joke on Monday. Jeez, Ish.
That was weak.
That was terrible.
I was waiting for it though because it was such a good call. Like he was so complimentary of Mike.
He loves to come at him. He just loves it, man. It's the highlight of his day.
It was a very coherent call, though.
It was.
Up until the end. So I'm like, where's this going?
I want to be very clear about something. I've spoken with the good folks that do the engineering here.
Uh-huh.
We can block numbers in this system, Ish.
I will revolt if you block Ish.
Okay, yeah. Once you figure out how you can do it, then maybe you can revolt.
He's a little ski hat.
If you're going to come after me, be funny.
It should be a rain hat, first of all. It's not snowing out there.
Yeah, it should be a raincoat. Ray got the raincoat that had the matching hat and the boots.
Do you want me to write your material, Ish? If you're going to come after me, be funny. All right? Don't waste our time.
He tried. I always love that.
My man tried to steal a video set out of ShopRite.
He didn't tell us what it was. Is it a video game? Is that what he said? I wonder what video game Ish was trying to steal.
A set of videos, I guess it was. With a Game Boy. I don't know. Maybe. Tried to put it in his pants. See, you can usually get away with that. See, Ish didn't know where the gendarmes were. They were eyeballing him.
That was one thing I never have done. I've never stolen anything. I think when I was like 5 or 6 years old, I threw a candy bar in my mom's cart so she couldn't see it when she was going out. I felt so horrible I threw it in the trash. Never stole again.
Threw it in the trash?
Yeah. Like I thought that was going to be better. I still stole it.
So you thought you took a bite of that, like God was going to burn a hole in your stomach?
I did. Well, that Catholic guilt when you're a kid.
Oh, yeah. Speaking of Catholics,
man.
Congratulations to the Villanova people who are I understand the Pope is going to put a poster of Chris Jenkins' shot on his wall there at the Vatican. And the memes are coming out. Bill just showed me a meme where the Pope is eating a hoagie over the Wawa trash can.
Yeah, the artificial intelligence of how they could create pictures now is wild.
And all the people in Italy, you know what they're saying? They elected American. Like, what's the deal with that?
It was a wild development. It happened so quickly, too.
It did. This guy must have won him over early, man.
He must have.
Congratulations to an American Pope. That's pretty cool.
Well, I saw him. I watched the video last night when we got home from our broadcast of him coming out into St. Peter's Square. Like the human side of that. That's got to be an unbelievable feeling that you've dedicated your whole life to the Catholic Church, and now you are the Pope.
And then nome del Padre, Filii, Spiritus Sancti.
Amen.
Amen. That's right. It's the Amen. They did the Amen after that. Not the Amen, the Amen.
The Amen.
610-632-0975. Back after this.
Fanatic Sports Update.
Phillies sweep the Rays. I'm Ray Dunn with this Fanatic Sports Update. The Phillies rallied from a 5-1 deficit in the 8th to beat the Rays 7-6 in 10 innings. Bryson Stott hit a 3-run homer in the 8th. Max Kepler drove in the tying run in the 9th. And Brandon Marsh gave the Phillies the lead with the double in the 10th. This is the second series sweep for the Phillies this season. Around 22-15 on the year before they head to Cleveland for a 3-game series that starts tonight against the Guardians. Aaron Nola on the mound against Gavin Williams with first pitch at 7:10. Elsewhere in town, we're days away from the NBA draft lottery, where the Sixers are looking to land a top 6 pick. They need to be top 6 to keep the pick. The president of basketball operations, Daryl Morey, joined us on the Mike Missanelli show yesterday and talked through a lot of things, including Morey's belief that the best of Embiid is still there.
No, I don't think that's written. I don't think we know that. I think MVP Joel Embiid is still potentially there. He's in an age where lots of players still play to their prime. He's in an age where lots of players, even with issues, have come back and played at a high level. So, no, I do not think that.
You can hear the whole interview with Daryl Morey on our website, 975thefanatic.com. This update is brought to you by Discover. Discover wants everyone to feel special. That's why double all the cash back you've earned on your credit card at the end of your first year with cashback match. See terms at discover.com/credit card. I'm Ray Dunn, your home for Truist Championship coverage, 975 The Fanatic and 975thefanatic.com.
Last night, comeback win over that team. Disgraceful, that Tampa Bay team. Listen, I'm not going to complain. 9 of 11. They got guys that are hot now. Stott, Marshy, Bomey. They're all coming through, Billy.
They are all coming through, man. I just can't believe Turner, when I was looking at these numbers that Zielecki put out, he's batting .397 in his last 17.
And people don't notice it because they hate him.
Yeah, and we still
hate him because they ain't him.
I have a quote for you after last night. I want to see if you can guess who said this. Talking about Bryson Stott's home run. They were interviewing a player on the team. He said, "That dude's a gangster."
Oh, that's Marsh. My God.
100%.
That's so Marsh.
You would get it.
Come on, man.
That dude's a gangster.
That dude's a gangster. he's such a foof, man. He really is.
That dude's a gangster.
It's such a bro thing that he's got going, isn't it?
Oh, man. Yeah, he cracked up. Hey, but Marsh, you got to give him credit. Since he's come back 5 of 11, I'll take that.
Yeah. All right, it's Mother's Day Monday. So in the 11 o'clock hour, we're going to have a little contest that people can vote on, the text line, the whole bit.
Yeah, I know where you're going.
We're going to play 3 mama songs.
It's going to be tough, man.
We're going to play 3 mama songs, one by the Intruders. That's old school. I always love my mama. She's my favorite girl. You only get one. You only get one.
Yeah, that's a great one.
Yeah. So then we got Tupac coming in.
Oh,
Tupac with what's it called? Dear Mama.
Dear Mama.
Dear Mama, and then Boys to Men. A song to Mama.
You know
so
I love you.
We're gonna play those 3 and see which ones emerge as the most popular.
I'm gonna say, because we're in Philly, the Boys to Men will win.
You think Boys to Men?
Yeah, I think so. And it is a beautiful song. It is a beautiful song. But I don't know, man. Even as a crack fiend, mama, you always were the black queen, mama. That's a great jam by Tupac, too. It's going to be close.
Mama, catch me, put a whooping on my backside.
Yes.
Is the lyric before
that.
It's
a great song, man.
All right. So, and we're going to start every hour. I decided we want to start every hour with Daryl Morey's message about how good of a general manager he is. But right now, I want to, because I asked him about Embiid. And what I said, I said, have we seen the best of Joel Embiid? Now, that's not a question he's going to say yes to, right? But I needed to put it out there for him to comment on what he thinks of Embiid right now. And he took the bait, and he went for it like nothing's ever happened. So here's what he had to say about Joel Embiid and the best of being still there.
No, I don't think that's written. I don't think we know that. I think MVP Joel Embiid is still potentially there. He's in an age where lots of players still play to their prime. He's in an age where lots of players, even with issues, have come back and played at a high level. So, no, I do not think that.
Yeah, well, I do. And so let's go to the previous answer where I asked him what exactly was done to his knee that would make us feel like he's going to come back and play at an MVP level, because we've heard nothing of the sort. And a scope went in, and I don't know what came out, but here's how he addressed that.
I believe that was announced. He had a scope. It looks optimistic. He's with the doctor that did Kawhi. He's up in New York working with him this week. He's working every day at the facility. I was with him yesterday working with his folks. So he's working hard, doing whatever he can to get back out on the floor. You know, I mentioned this before. His issues are not, I break my arm, it heals and you come back. This is more of a complex case that these things can trend in a good direction over time, and we believe they will.
What do you mean they can trend in a good direction over time? Nothing trends in a good direction over time when you've actually introduced that it's more complicated. You've just told us it's not like a broken arm that he can heal and come back full strength. It doesn't make sense. The answer doesn't make sense.
No, it doesn't. It doesn't. But look, I don't want to defend Morey because there was a lot of things he said that frustrated me. But to play the devil's advocate when it comes to Daryl Morey for a second, what's the option? Like, what's the option when it comes to Joel? He can't come on and say, yep, we think the knee's shot.
He can't, but he also can't think we're stupid.
Yeah, that you're right. He can't insult our intelligence.
And that's the thing that Sixer fans have been carrying this burden now for a really long time about believing the nonsense that comes out. There was a scope in there, and he's working with the same doctors. What does that mean? It doesn't mean anything. If you told me he had a scope and we fixed something, then that means something to me.
Yeah, but they've been very coy and cryptic on what exactly got fixed.
So I'm supposed to believe they just had a scope. He's working with the same doctor as Kawhi, but you're supposed to believe he's going to play like an MVP again. Come on, man. Don't insult me. Sixer fans are too smart. Sixer fans have been Sixer fans for a really long time. They can't be duped.
No,
You're listening to the Mike Missanelli Show on 97.5 The Fanatic, WPEN, HD1, Burlington, Philadelphia, Beasley Media Group station, and we broadcast every day from the Comcast Business Studios, powering possibilities. All right, let's start the 11 o'clock hour, Ray. I got to hear it. I got to hear it at the start of every hour when I ask Daryl Morey, Daryl, what makes you think and what makes we supposed to believe that you're capable of fixing this?
I mean, this first losing season I've ever had, more deep playoff runs than pretty much any executive in league history. I've never been to the lottery. That's, probably because we only win, so I'm pretty good at the winning thing.
All I do is win, no matter what. Got money on my mind, I can never
Okay, I don't know if this is true. Has he made more deep playoff runs than anyone in history?
I can't think that's true.
Seriously?
Well, there's been general managers who have won multiple championships, so that in of itself would make that a false statement, wouldn't it? He's never been to a finals.
Never had a losing season.
Ray is rocking.
He really is. Ray loves this. Never had a losing season. Made more deep playoff runs than anyone in history. What else did he say? What else did he add to that?
Never been to the lottery.
Never been to the lottery.
He's pretty good at this winning thing.
Been to the lottery. Okay, pretty good at this winning thing. Okay.
Look,
I look at it like, okay, maybe you have. Maybe you knew a little something about winning. But now you're trying to sell me that older star players can still be star players. That is an archaic view. When you look at the league, look at what the league produces now. Does it produce the Phoenix Suns type of team, or does it produce an Oklahoma City Thunder type of team?
Yeah, it's the OKCs. And you did ask him, too, how he plans on keeping up with the East with all these teams getting better. And his hope is that, well, they're not going to be able to keep all the players on
That's
this
what
team.
he said. The other teams aren't going to be able to keep all the players.
So we got a lot of hope, man. A lot of hope.
Oh, man. Daryl, listen, God bless you. God bless you. And I appreciate you coming on yesterday. But if you don't think that you have sold a bill of goods to this owner, then more power to you. He has to know. He gets this guy. He goes, I can sell this guy. This guy, not only does he not know anything about basketball, but he's diverted with another football franchise, which is much more important to him. And then by the way, he's got a hockey team. We fall somewhere in the middle.
Oh, man.
All right, let's go to the phones. Daniel from L.A. wants to talk Phillies. What's up, Daniel? You're on 97.5 The Fanatic.
Hey, Mike. Happy Friday. I'm glad that the Phillies finally swept the team, but I'm still kind of happily optimistic, so to speak, because this team hasn't really shown that they're any different than from the last two runs that they had. And everybody else has gotten better, and except for the Phillies, I think. So, I'm still keeping an interest in them, but, I don't want to get too excited because I've been down this road before. So
no, I hear you. Now they're going to play a much better team this weekend, so we'll see. They listen. Let's face it. They played very well against Arizona. That was admirable. They took 2-3 from the Cubs. Very admirable. They lost 3 to the Mets, and they lost 5 in a row in that span right now. And so they played a crap team yesterday in Tampa Bay. So I don't know. They came back, and that's good. They also shut them out in that series. They beat them 8-4. Another dominant wins over Tampa Bay, except for last night where the Tampa Bay kind of gave it up to them. But the Cleveland Guardians are a pretty good team.
Yeah, and also another thing about teams like the Rays, the Marlins, like the Rockies. I know you do a segment where you say if I was the commissioner of the world or something like that. I think if I was a commissioner of the world or the U.S., I think I would make it a rule where owners have to make a concerted, legitimate effort to field good teams because
Daniel, I think you're selling them short. I think you're selling them a little short. The Phillies are a good team.
No, I'm talking about the Rays, the Rockies.
Yeah. No, listen, I get it. But like, I can only go so far into saying they played weak competition. You still have to win games. You still have to hit. You still have to pitch, and you have to close out games. So, yeah, I'm okay with that. But the Rays do stink. Now, the Cleveland Guardians don't. But coming up, they got 6 games, Cleveland and St. Louis, which will be challenging. Then they got 10 games of crap. Where they play the Pirates, the Rockies, and the Athletics. So even if they fail to take 2 or 3 from Cleveland here, better times are coming up the road in a little bit.
Yeah. Well, you guys have a good weekend.
All right, Daniel. Thanks for checking in L.A.
Yes. So the one thing that Daniel said that I don't know if I can agree with him, though, when he said it's the same team as last year. And we've talked about this before. A lot of the lineup is the same. Yes. But when you've added Jesus Luzardo to that starting rotation, that is a major upgrade from what you were getting last year, if we're going to talk about the 5th starter, because the other 4 starters are the same. So if you replaced last year's Taijuan Walker with Jesus Luzardo, massive upgrade. And then when you go to the outfield, jury's still out on Max Kepler, but Max Kepler looks like he's an upgrade in left field from Austin Hayes and whoever else you were throwing out there to start the season. So I think you have upgrades there. I think the major issue is the bullpen. Have they lost too much in the pen? And I think we got to let this play out to see how it goes and the trade deadline coming and all that stuff. But I think this is a better team than last year's baseball team. All right, I'm going to have you answer me yes or no.
Luzardo replaces Suarez. Luzardo didn't add to the rotation so far. He replaced Suarez.
Starting rotation, better this year or last?
Well, on paper, it because Luzardo, but Sanchez was doing that last year. What Luzardo is doing this year.
Oh, you still have Sanchez.
But Sanchez hasn't really contributed.
But Ranger, when did he have his injury and then start to fade last year?
I don't know the exact timing, but he was lights out early in the year.
He was.
So it's a wash right now with the starting rotation. The bullpen is weaker. Now, if they can overcome that by being better offensively, then that's fine. You could say they're better. But I'm not so sure they're better.
I think the bullpen is the one issue where, you could say they're worse. I think the starting rotation's better.
That's a heavy thing.
It is. And I think the lineup is better, not only because of the addition of Max Kepler. Bryson Stott was terrible last year.
Yeah, he was.
This guy's playing like a potential all-star now.
He was good the year before that. 610-632-0975. On the other side, some mama songs.
And people are weighing in with some other options, too.
All right,
we're
going to play these 3. We can't play them all mama songs. We're back after this.
Andrew Salciunas.
Your corner infielder can't have 0 home runs.
How come you didn't start with the sound bites, Ray?
I heard the door in the other studio open. I knew you guys were close.
We were close. You heard the door from the
was
other
he-
studio open.
Yeah, I
What,
can
a
hear
dog
that.
back there? You
I
got
can hear that
ears.
studio go. It's a heavy door. When you guys push it, it's like
Really?
push it up against the wall. Yeah.
Oh, all right. Well, in any event.
I've been here for a little while now. I know the studio too well.
610-632-0975. All right, let's play our first entry today on Mother's Day. Happy Mother's Day to all the moms out there. We wanted to, hear your sentiment about what mom means to you. If she's still with us, or even if she's not, the lessons that she put forth on you and things that you live by now. So in honor of that, that's it. Let's play Pac. Dear Mama, Tupac. Hit it, Ray.
You all appreciate it. When I was young, me and my mama had beef. 17 years old, kicked out on the streets. Though back at the time, I never thought I'd see her face. Ain't a woman alive that could take my mama's place. Suspended from school, I'm scared to go home. I was a fool with the big boys, breaking all the rules. Shedding tears with my baby sister. Over the years, we was poor than other little kids. And even though we had different daddies, the same drama when things went wrong, we blame mama. I reminisce on the stress I caused. It was hell, hugging on my mama from a jail cell. And who thinking elementary? Hey, I see the penitentiary one day. Running from the police, that's right. Mama catch me, put a whoop into my backside.
All right, that's nice.
Lady.
Now, his mama, wasn't his mama Angela Davis? The Black Panther revolutionary? Check and see what his mother was. I think it was Angela Davis. She was a civil rights advocate in the 70s, and she had a big fro.
That was his mom?
I think it was. No?
I don't think so.
No, it wasn't his mom. You sure?
Alice
thought he had-
Faye Williams was his mom.
Alice Faye Williams?
Afeni Shakur.
Okay.
Was
All
her
right.
her name.
Somehow I thought he had an association with Angela Davis. But anyway.
I'm not
Was
saying
a
that.
American political activist, a member of the Black Panther Party.
Yeah.
That was the
That
father.
was Angela Davis. What? That was, who are you saying, Ray? Who's that, his father or his mother?
Was the mother of rapper Tupac Shakur.
Yeah, Angela Davis.
Hold on.
Now,
What?
Anthony Davis. Shakur Davis.
Yeah, she went by Angela Davis back in the day.
Yeah, I think you just got the name wrong. Yeah, she was a political activist, but her name was Alice. And then her name was, Afeni Shakur Davis. I don't know. Yeah, I think you're right, though. Maybe we just got the first name wrong.
Okay. All right. I thought, no. She went by Angela Davis. There's no question about it. She went by Angela Davis. But anyway.
I think you're right.
All right.
But yes, great jam.
That is a great jam. Okay, so let's go back to the phones because we got FedEx Ed from Delco wants to talk about Daryl Morey. FedEx Ed, what's up, buddy? How you doing?
I always love my mama.
Hey, wow, that's coming up.
She's my favorite girl.
Only one girl. Yeah.
Old school, yeah.
That was old school. We're going to play that in a little bit.
Yeah, I haven't listened to a press conference from a coach since Andy Reid left town. 14 years of listening to Andy Reid say nothing, I just couldn't take it no more.
You're very bold.
So, whenever Sirianni's on or even Rob Thompson, I'm like, click. Because I know it's a bunch of nonsense. So.
Okay, so what's your point about Daryl?
Well, he didn't say anything either. And they never do. You know, they just try to double talk you and, spin it a certain way. But, I mean, I know you got an interview to do and you got to ask the right way so he doesn't hang up on you, but...
Yeah, I don't think he was the type that would hang up on me. At least he's in a lot of ways, he's a naive guy. So when I think he's kind of oblivious to the fact that I'm trying to dig into his ass. You know what I'm saying?
No, he can't be. He can't be oblivious to that. Come on.
No, I think he's a little. I think he's a little oblivious to it. I don't know. I think he's a little oblivious to it.
He wasn't he the same one? He brought Harden into town, didn't he?
Yeah.
And he was in love with Harden. He met him at the airport.
He's absolutely in love with him.
Yeah.
And that love affair got broken off quickly.
Yeah. Yeah, we should have got rid of Morey at the same time. But one more thing about Embiid. I don't think he wants to play anymore. He got his money, and he's you're the one who said a long time ago. They like the lifestyle, but they don't want to. They don't want to.
I think there's something you said. I don't think it's because he likes the lifestyle. I do think he's lost a little bit of his desire to be a really good player. And I think he's been beaten down by injuries, and I don't think his desire is at the same level.
Yeah. So, you're going to get the same thing again this year.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I see. I think you're going to get the same. This is why it's maddening that they didn't change the landscape here.
Look,
to me, anyway.
I'm just as frustrated as everybody else when it comes to the Sixers. But where I can't go is to say that Joel Embiid doesn't have the same desire to play basketball, because this is still the same guy, Mike, that came back from the knee injury, came back from the knee surgery just to play in the playoffs last year, or 2 years ago now, with this season basically over. 2 years ago, he didn't have to do that.
What does it say about his desire to lead a team when he did what he did with the Olympics and then came out and showed up out of shape? What does that say? Does that say he wants to play?
Hold on, because we had this debate at the time. When they were holding him out to start the season, we were frustrated because it was, is he out of shape, or is there more going on with the knee? Now it sounds as if there was more going on with the knee. So was it really just because Joel showed up out of shape, or was it because the knee injury was still there?
All right, then what is your responsibility to your team, the team that is about to sign you to an extension, that you play that nonsense in the Olympics and then take off? Don't actually do anything that gets yourself in shape for the season.
Again, that's all speculative. We don't know
it's
that
all
for
speculative?
sure. We don't know for sure. Like we don't
know for sure.
know he played in the Olympics.
They admitted he came in, he wasn't in shape.
That's what they told us.
Oh,
and
they lie?
But I kept saying to you, I'm nervous. It's not that. There's something wrong with the knee. And now we know they had to shut him down because of the knee.
Okay, there was something wrong with the knee. What was his personal responsibility for not playing in the Olympics? What do you do? Injured it in the Olympics, or do you always have it?
But him playing in the Olympics, I agree, was the wrong decision. But I don't think we jump from him playing to the Olympics where he's lost his desire to play basketball.
I think he has lost his desire to be an upper-level MVP candidate. I do. That's what I feel from him. Mike Missanelli Show. It's on 97.5 The Fanatic.
Fanatic Sports Update.
Phillies sweep the Rays. I'm Ray Dunn with this Fanatic Sports Update. Phillies rallied from a 5-1 deficit in the 8th to beat the Tampa Bay Rays 7-6 in 10 innings. Bryson Stott hit a 3-run homer in the 8th. Max Kepler drove in the tying run in the 9th, and Brandon Marsh gave the Phillies the lead with a double in the 10th. It's the second series sweep for the Phillies this season. They're now 22-15 on the year before they head to Cleveland for a 3-game series that starts tonight against the Guardians. Aaron Nola on the mound against Gavin Williams with first pitch at 7:10. Elsewhere in town, we're days away from the NBA draft lottery, where the Sixers are looking to get that top 6 pick and keep their draft pick. President of basketball operations Daryl Morey joined us on the Mike Missanelli Show yesterday and talked through a lot of things, including Morey's belief that the best of Embiid is still there.
No, I don't think that's written. I don't think we know that. I think MVP Joel Embiid is still potentially there. He's in an age where lots of players still play to their prime. He's in an age where lots of players, even with issues, have come back and played at a high level. So, no, I do not think that.
You can hear the whole interview with Morey on our website, 975thefanatic.com. This update is brought to you by Mercedes-Benz. That feeling of owning your first Mercedes-Benz, hard to believe, but it's real. From leather stitching, the iconic design, every element of a Mercedes lives up to its reputation. See for yourself at your local dealer. I'm Ray Dunn, your home for Truist Championship coverage, 975 The Fanatic and 975thefanatic.com.
Mike Missanelli Show, 97.5 Dramatic on a Mother's Day weekend. We're playing some Mother's Day songs. We'll get to one in a minute. We're getting accused of being too white. Your wife has accused us of being too white.
Well, yeah, mostly because you got the Angela Davis thing wrong.
It's not Angela. Angela Davis was a member of the Black Panther Party.
Yeah.
And a revolutionary back in the day for civil rights. His mother was also in the Black Panther Party. Her name was Afeni Shakur.
And her original name was Afeni Davis.
Yes.
That was that's where you got the mix up.
I don't know if there's any relation, but I know they were both in the Black Panther Party and
correct.
Were fighting for those kind of causes back then.
Correct. But the song, Dear Mama,
it's going
to be tough to beat.
Yeah. Well, you think? Because I don't know, right? I want to rock old school now because these are the Intruders. I don't know if they had that many hits, the Intruders, but this was a monster hit. Here we go. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it had that vibe. This is the Phillies sound, by the way. Kenny Gamble and Leon Huff.
Yeah, another Philly band, right? She's my favorite girl. Me in the world. You know this one, Ray?
Sometimes I feel so
Nope.
bad when I think of all the things I used to do. How Mama used to clean somebody else's house just to buy me a new pair of shoes. I never understood how Mama made it through the week when she never ever got a good night's sleep.
Talking about Mama. I love the back. She's one of a kind. I love that old school. Gamble and Huff produced songs with that bouncy vibe in the back, that musical vibe, you know?
Yeah, this is pretty good.
All right, this is tough to beat, man. I'm telling you. I always love my mama. It's tough to beat. I know Pac's in there, but come on, man.
The other one that's up, I think is going to win it. I mean, I don't know how we're rating these, but because we got Boyz II Men coming up later too.
We do.
So that's one. And then people are putting out, like, on the YouTube chat, Pink Floyd's Mother. Good song, but
we kind of centered around three here. That's not expanding.
Yeah,
the horizon.
So the honorable mentions then in the YouTube chat: Pink Floyd's Mother, Genesis, Mama, Ozzy, Mama, I'm Coming Home. I got to ask you a question. How the hell is Ozzy Osbourne still alive? I mean, knock on wood.
Listen,
I'm
going to put that Ozzy song in the.
But how did Ozzy Osbourne do everything that he's done in his life, and he's still walking around?
Well, you can say the same about Keith Richards.
Yeah, I guess you're right.
Angela Davis is still alive.
Look at you. You won't eat eggs for your cholesterol, and these guys probably put everything in their systems known to man, and they're fine.
Well, I did too, man.
Back in the day?
Yeah, I mean, I was a big heroin addict.
Stop.
No, I was not.
Stop.
I was not. I'm afraid of needles. I could never be one. All right, so let's get back to the phones here because Vicente, your buddy Vicente. Bill, you like Vicente, don't you?
Yeah, I like Vicente.
Vicente! Hola, amigo! Vicente!
Hola, amigo Mikey Mies and Billy and Ray. How are you?
Oh, we're fantastic today, Vicente. What's on your mind?
Oh, a lot of things, but regarding my mother, she's an angel. She makes the ultimate sacrifice to retire from her principal job of a school in Ecuador to come over here and sponsor me and apply for my papers.
Oh, man. I didn't know that. I didn't know your mom was here. I thought she was still in Ecuador.
Well, no, she was here, but they moved back like 7 years back in Ecuador.
Oh, okay. All right.
But she made the sacrifice to be here, so her papers from residency and American citizenship come through in order for her to apply for me.
That's awesome, man. That's a great story. So that's what I'm talking about. She made that sacrifice to come here to sponsor you.
Yeah. So, hey, my mama tried. It's not like Mert Haggard.
Yeah.
He wrote a song about mama. His mama she seemed to know everything that lay in the store ahead of him. But he turned 21 in prison, doing life without parole, and no one could steer him right. But mama tried. Mama tried. to raise him better, but her pleading was denied. And that leaves him only to blame because Mama tried.
Okay, I got you. I hear the lyrics.
That's a Merle Haggard song.
I get you.
You know?
I'm not. Merle Haggard's not on my playlist, but I trust you.
Yeah. So anyway,
You know everything about music, man. You go from rock to country to soul. You know everything.
Don't get me started because I can sing a Mama in Spanish.
Yeah,
Todos tienen una madre.
you know what you are? You're muy versatile.
Muy versatile.
Versatile. Yes, muy versatile.
I want to give kudos to Bill Colarulo because he was right about Bryson Stott. He was due for a home run. And what an amazing comeback from defeat, last night. 5-1. And
Yes.
they came back on top with his 3-run homer.
Yes.
That was the greatest.
Yes.
That was a great moment.
We're
Yes.
starting to feel good, Vincente. We're starting to feel good.
And I wanted to ask you, Mike, yesterday you had a wonderful time in Truist Championship up in Flowertown. I wanted to go, but it was too expensive to get inside.
How much are the tickets to get in there?
Like $180.
Oh, really? Yeah, it's a
just
golf
to walk
tournament.
around in the ground.
They're very pricey,
Yeah.
the golf tournaments.
Yeah. So did you have a chance to at least talk to or see Roy McIlroy?
We actually did not see Rory, but Ricky Batalico and Ray Dunn did. And we'll have to tell. He's going to tell that story in a second. Ricky semi-heckled Rory. Semi-heckled him. Believe it or not, Vicente.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
All right,
buddy.
Have a wonderful Mother's Day. Please go over with your family, your daughter, and your mom. Okay.
Yes, Vicente. Good, very, very well said. Good sentiments. Oh, his mother brought him over here from Ecuador, sponsored him, got him, and then they went back to Ecuador.
Yeah, interesting. And he was nice to me on this call.
Well, he's not nice to you. This is why you're not fond of Vicente.
No,
First of all, you call him the wrong name all the time.
Vicente. There's no N.
Yeah,
right. It's not Vincente.
You usually
it's
say
Vicente.
Vincente.
Yeah,
which is very disrespectful. It's like me calling you Beal.
He said Colarulo pretty well, though.
He did Colarulo because it rolls off his tongue. He's got a Hispanic accent.
Is it? No one can say my name correctly. I don't think it's that hard to say.
It's easier than my name, isn't it?
Missanelli?
People mess up my name and they can't. It's so simple. It's like Miss Nelly. That's what it is. People mess it up all the time.
I think I told you this story.
They mess up Dunn, too.
I think I told you this story before.
Dune, man.
It does look like
Dunny, Dooney.
When I was trying to change careers from law to radio, I met with Sal Palantonio.
You're still trying, by the way.
And
go ahead. I'm sorry.
Sal Palantonio's advice was, your name's too long. Shorten it.
What? He's going by Sal Palantonio.
He goes by Sal Pal.
Yeah,
and you go by Mikey Miss.
He doesn't go by Sal Pal. They introduced him as Sal Palantonio.
That was his word of advice for me. Shorten my name.
So what was it going to be? Wait, Kahlo? Was it going to be it? Rulo? How are you going to shorten it? What would it have been? Cooper? What would you have done? Anglicized it?
Obviously, I didn't do it. I didn't listen to him.
Collar?
I guess you could go by, Billy C. That's what they used to call me on the football field, Billy C.
Oh, they used to call him Billy C, right? On the football field.
Billy
Can
C.
we get that chant one more time? What the Gettysburg cheerleaders chant?
That wasn't Billy C. That was Billy. He's our guy. He's our guy.
That's right.
Billy C.
4-yard out route.
They used to call him
He's
on
gonna
the
catch
football
it.
field. Billy C.
Billy C. That was the name. Should I go by Billy C. instead of Colarulo?
No.
Oh, man. 610-632-0975. Dantes in Bethlehem joins us. What's up, Dantes?
What's up, guys?
How
Been
you
too
doing?
long, man. Great show, great show. That Vincente guy, man, he's got a great voice. He should have his own show.
He's been lobbying for his own show here for several years. I think that's why Bill is a little not enamored with Ray. He's trying to take bread out of Bill's cabinet. Bill's trying to make his mark here, and he doesn't want any Johnny-come-latelys coming into the business.
Guys, I want to call this the great restart, and if you give me a moment, I'd just like to explain. Basketball is a big business, right? We got a great fan base, but the stadium's empty. We're not winning, there's no excitement. I believe we got to get rid of the big guy. We got to get rid of Paul George. Honestly, guys, Morey's getting paid a lot of money. I feel like a lot of the moves that he's made, minus his draft picks, are fireable fences. So for me, as a big Sixer fan, guys, the great restart. Let's start over. Let's build around the kids. We got some talent. We got a young athletic center.
You're building around what kid? What kid are you building around?
I mean, I'd like to build around Tyrese. I mean, what other kid? I mean, kid smiles. He's personable. He's hardworking. He's on the court. I mean, these guys, they're in street clothes more than
I get that, and that's what Daryl said. It will be different next year. I'll see that when I see it. But I don't know I don't know that Mac. First of all, you can't get rid of both salaries. You just can't. Nobody's going to take on both guys. You might be able to get rid of one of them. But building around Tyrese Maxey, I don't know, man. Good player. I don't know if he's a guy you build around. He's 6'2" guard.
Listen, you got to get rid of both of the guys. Find a way. Get some sucker. They're talking about some news about L.A. interested in Embiid or something like that. We got to get rid of these guys. Yeah. You guys were talking about it yesterday.
Yeah, I don't know who in reality is talking about in L.A. about getting rid of Embiid. I haven't heard any talk about that at all. Well, he made it clean. They like their big three.
I think he's referring to the Bill Simmons podcast where they floated the idea of trading him to L.A.
Yeah, that's not exactly.
Why would anyone trade for Embiid right now in that contract?
I think there would be. I've said this before. I think there would be a team that would trade for him and take a chance. Yeah, 'cause it's a big name they get in their city, and they have the same hope that Daryl Morey just put out.
But
he could still perform like the MVP. Can we hear that again, Ray? Daryl Morey 4? This is what people around the league. If Daryl thinks this, then maybe people around the league think.
No, I don't think that's written. I don't think we know that. I think MVP Joel Embiid is still potentially there. He's in an age where lots of players still play to their prime. He's in an age where lots of players, even with issues, have come back and played at a high level. So, no, I do not think that.
Who has played at their prime except Steph Curry? Who else are we talking about? 610-632-0975. Back after this.
Connor Thomas.
Whether the Pope was a fan of the Cubs or the White Sox, and I thought about it, and I thought it has to be the White Sox because they're the downtrodden, they're the South Side, they're the more liberal view that the Pope would have. He would care more about the downtrodden than the elitist Cubs, and he is a White Sox fan.
Yeah, you called that one. You were able to read the tea leaves on it. So, but he is. I'm assuming Philadelphia has a small place in his heart, though, right? I mean,
well, listen. I always thought that college was your most formative years. So you grow into an adult, right? So he was a Villanova student. He made friends with a lot of would-be Cardinals. After he went to the Divinity.
Yeah, I saw yesterday online. I think he had a couple of awards that were presented to him in the city of Philadelphia. So we will see.
Wouldn't it be great if the Pope would show up right at a Villanova game? Big East or Big Five, doesn't matter. And he gets into the costume of Wildy Cat.
And then takes off the hat?
Yeah,
takes off the head.
And then at halftime, he takes it out and he gives the whole thing, he gives the arena a blessing. Wouldn't that be nice?
I mean, I feel like that would scar some children. Taking off the helmet. Why
It's not
break
like
the
he's
illusion?
coming as Santa Claus.
Pope as mascot.
What's that supposed
for
to
a Villanova game?
I mean, I just want to see him at the Palestra. That's the only thing. I want the Pope at the Palestra. That's all I want.
The people that are ticked off? The St. Joe's people. What is it? They're the Augustinians. The Villanova's the Augustinians. And the
St. Joe's Jesuits.
Jesuits. So what's the conflict between them?
I believe Francis was the first Jesuit Pope. I don't know that. I don't want to say.
Oh, really?
That.
So
I know
St. Joe had their glory days with Francis?
Jesuit Pope. Yes.
Yeah.
Pope Francis was the first Jesuit Pope.
Oh, there you go. So St. Joe had their day. But see, this goes further. This goes deeper. He actually trod on the campus of Villanova.
Yeah, it's a big deal.
Holy steps.
Well, to be fair, Francis had also gone on St. Joe's campus.
He did?
Yeah, when he did his visit, he blessed somewhere on St. Joe's campus.
Oh, I was not aware of that.
Yeah, so this is a swing in terms of the Holy War for St. Joe's and Villanova. This is a swing from St. Joe's to Villanova.
It is a big swing. I mean, let's face it. Are you ever going to get another local university? Like, is Penn State ever going to produce a pope? Is Temple going to produce a pope? No, this is the last American pope ever.
Pope Leo is the first Augustinian to become pope.
Really?
So this really is.
All right, now what's the difference between the Augustinians and the Jesuits? Do we know?
Mr. Theology major.
Yeah, Mr. Theology.
Come on.
I went to a Palatine school. Bishop Eustace was the Palatines.
What is that? I don't even know what that. What's a third party coming in here?
From St. Vincent Pallotti. Yes. St. Vincent Pallotti.
I don't know what that means.
But there's never been a Palatine pope either. I don't know what the difference is.
Is that how they named Pilates after?
No, that would be Joseph Pilates.
Oh, that's another Pilates?
No relation to religion at all. But Palatine.
I don't want to hear about
Pallotti.
Palatine. I want to hear about the Jesuits and the Augustinians.
You got to give me some time to do some research on this.
Oh, come on. You should know this as a matter of course. You're a theology major.
Yeah, theology major. We studied all religions. We didn't just look at the difference between the Jesuits and the Augustinians.
You should know the difference in Catholicism with the Jesuits and Augustinians.
They differ in their founding principles.
What's the founding principles? That's a vague answer. It's like Daryl Morey?
The Jesuits were founded by Ignatius Loyola with an emphasis.
What do they believe in?
Well, I mean, they're all Catholic.
I know, but there's got to be a difference in what their beliefs are.
Here's what I got. All right. The Jesuits have an emphasis, an active and engaged approach to ministry, particularly in education and social justice, while the Augustinians are rooted in the teachings of St. Augustine, who prioritize a contemplative and communal life focused on spiritual growth and service within their local community.
I don't even know what that means.
Either do I. It just sounds like a little bit of a...
Why is there this division between the Augustinians and the Jesuits? Can somebody from St. Joe's or Villanova explain this to us? 610-632-0975. I would love to understand it because I never really understood it. This holy war. Well, one sect they believe in this and one sect believes in that.
All right. So this is what I just got. My brother is a St. Joe's. Going to graduate from St. Joe's a week from today.
Oh, okay, so he knows at least.
Congratulations.
Bill doesn't. Theology major, but your brother knows.
Yeah, I mean, this is going to go back to a lot of what Bill just said because I don't think he's going to be able to deliver this over text to me like this quickly. But he said Augustinians are focused on community. Jesuits are education and mission work.
Yeah, that's what I said.
Yeah.
So the Jesuits want to be smarter?
I think more educating about Christ and
Oh.
Pushing upon the beliefs, and the Augustinians, I guess, are more trying to strengthen the community that already exists. That's what I'm going to try and read. I'm reading into very short text here.
I'm still confused.
I'm trying my best here.
You know what? I'm confused. I need music. So, Ray, let's get to our third Mama song, and this is Boys to Men, a song to Mama. Oh, piano.
You taught me everything you've given me. I always keep it inside. You're the driving force in my life.
Oh, man, this is tough to beat, I got to say.
Yeah, it's a great song.
There isn't anything or anyone that I could be, and it just wouldn't feel right. Never didn't have you by my side.
Oh.
You were there for me to love
making me cry.
Yeah, I get you.
Skies were gray. Whenever I was down, you were always there to comfort me.
Oh, wow.
No one else can be what you have been to me.
All right, I've heard enough. My vote goes to Boys to Men.
But then when those Boys to Men songs in the middle, Mama, I knew I wasn't always the greatest son, but you were always there for me. I love when they would stop and just talk.
I love that too. I love that talking in the background.
Yeah. I was listening to a Boys to Men song on the way home from Truist yesterday.
Were you really?
The End of the Road was on. Although we've come. And then they stop in the middle, and he starts talking to her. I knew you were out with that other man.
I love the talking.
Because I knew you were out with the other man. I just didn't care.
That brings me back to Lou Rawls.
It's the best.
Oh, hope this woman don't put me through no changes today because I had a hard day today. You know what I mean?
That's the best
610-632-0975. Mike Missanelli Show continues.
Fanatic Sports Update.
Phillies sweep the Rays. I'm Ray Dunn with this Fanatic Sports Update. The Phillies rallied from a 5-1 deficit in the 8th to beat the Tampa Bay Rays 7-6 in 10 innings last night. Bryson Stott had a 3-run homer in the 8th. Max Kepler drove in the tying run in the 9th. And Brandon Marsh gave the Phillies the lead with a double in the 10th. It's the second series sweep for the Phillies this season. They're now 22-15 on the year before they head to Cleveland for a 3-game set with the Guardians that starts tonight. Aaron Nola on the mound against Gavin Williams with first pitch at 7:10. Elsewhere in town, we're days away from the NBA draft lottery where the Sixers are looking to land a top 6 pick. They need it to be a top 6 pick to keep it. And President of Basketball Operations Daryl Morey joined us on the Mike Missanelli Show yesterday, talked through a lot of things, including Morey's belief that the best of Joel Embiid is still there.
No, I don't think that's written. I don't think we know that. I think MVP Joel Embiid is still potentially there. He's in an age where lots of players still play to their prime. He's in an age where lots of players, even with issues, have come back and played at a high level. So, no, I do not think that.
You can listen to the whole interview on our website, 975thefanatic.com. This update is brought to you by Macy's Backstage. What we find at Macy's Backstage. How about fun Mother's Day gifts? Get low prices every day on unique finds before they're gone. Find location near you at macy'sbackstage.com. Off price, on trend, arriving daily. I'm Ray Dunn on your home for Truist Championship coverage, 975 The Fanatic and 975thefanatic.com.
Stay tuned for that. Mike Missanelli Show. You can climb in at 610-632-0975. We'd love to talk to you with our sophisticated new phone system. Well, I have a touch screen. I'm having fun with the touch screen, man.
It is a pretty cool system.
On air one, line one, hold, drop. It's fancy.
It is interesting, though. Phillies win 9 of 11.
Mm-hmm.
Not many people want to call to sing their praises.
Can't jinx it.
Yeah, no one wants to sing their praises.
Philadelphia does not like to ride a hot streak for fear that it will fall apart. You know what way we are here.
But the craziest part of this whole
listen,
thing.
I don't get dazzled by a hot streak like this because I saw 3 games against an inferior team. That's like it's a joke.
And you know how baseball works. But the crazy things about all this, they're on this hot streak, and Bryce Harper is hitting 186 over his last 15 games.
Yeah. He's out of sync.
And I don't worry about
too long. He's been out of sync.
But
I don't worry a little
about
bit. It's gone on for a long time now.
It has, but
they're pounding him with breaking stuff.
Yeah, he's not having a great start to the season, but I'm looking at it as, all right, let's say, assuming Bryce Harper comes back to who he is, there's no reason to believe that he won't. He's only 32. You're talking about a 22-15 baseball team, and your best player hasn't even been performing up to Johan Rojas's level.
Yeah, well, that's the way it works in the lineup, though. Other guys pick you up. If you got a good lineup from top to bottom, then other guys pick you up, and even Marshy.
I'm sticking with
starting to hit a little bit.
My preseason prediction: 95 wins, man.
Marshy's a gangster.
No, Stott's a gangster.
Oh,
Marshy said Stott's a gangster.
All right, we haven't gone to the text board yet today, right? Do we have abundance of text today?
We do, and a text that has to do with this exactly. Phillies padding stats against the trash of the league. What is the Phillies' record against winning teams? Wake me up when September ends.
I don't know. What is their record against winning teams?
9-10 against teams above 500.
Well,
yeah.
This is now the Cleveland Guardians are going to give them a test.
This will be a good series.
I think they lose 2 of 3. Well, actually, I think they win 2 of 3.
You got them winning the series.
Yeah, I think they're hot enough to win 2 of 3.
If they win another series, I mean, come on now. Yeah. But let me ask you this, because you just said something earlier in the show when the caller was citing they're the same team as last year and all that.
Yep.
What happened in the postseason last year? Should that really affect our ability to enjoy the regular season this year?
Well, because it should.
The whole season. We're going to go 162 games.
It's inevitable. You can't ignore what happened last year because when you look at it, you go, these hitters fail to do fundamental things that avoid slumps.
However, their approach has been different this year.
It's been a little better this year. I will allow for that.
They're not striking out that much. Mm-hmm. They changed up the lineup. I mean, this is why I'm not getting on Rob Thompson. I love that he's thinking outside the box a little bit. They don't have Schwarber leading off. They moved Bryson Stott up to the leadoff spot.
I think their starting pitching has given them some stability to be looser at the plate and to be more disciplined instead of squeezing the sawdust out of the bat.
Earlier in the show, I forget who it was, but somebody on YouTube said, the Phillies could go 162-0, and we all know what's going to happen in October.
Yeah, well, that's foolish. That's a Negadelphia thing, right there.
Yeah, that's what I say. I think we should enjoy this.
You shouldn't go that far. Look, but there's always the spectrum of why they failed,
and I understand it. And look, I was critical of this team down the stretch last year. I just look at it now and say, all right, look, we don't have NBA playoffs. We don't have NHL playoffs. Why are we not enjoying our baseball team winning games?
We're enjoying it.
Are we?
Yeah, we're just not talking about it. Baseball's a game, a night after night situation.
I just don't know if fans are
so
enjoying
dazzling? All right, listen, it was nice that it came back and won that game last night. What was so dazzling about it when you look at the inferior opponent they played? It just kind of gave you a game. When that relief pitcher just served it up for the Phillies to get back in the game. It's 5-1 in the 8th.
Yeah, the comeback's nice. I'm not even just talking about last night. I'm talking about what they've done over the last month and a half. I mean, they're playing good baseball.
They are, and they're expected to play good baseball. They're expected to be a contender. So it's got to be extraordinary for us to notice stuff. We've been down this path many times before. We've seen them have good regular seasons.
We have seen them have good regular seasons. In fact, last year was their best regular season in the last 3, and they didn't go as far in the playoffs. But I'm going to worry. I want to worry about October when after the trade deadline comes.
All right.
Right now, I want to try to enjoy this baseball team.
And you're entitled to that. 610-632-0975. You're listening to the Mike Missanelli Show on 97.5. The Fanatic on WPEN, HD1, Burlington, Philadelphia. Beasley Media Group station, broadcasting live from the Comcast Business Studios, powering possibilities. Well, it is time for the cash register. Let me hear it. Yes.
The Fanatic signing bonus.
Oh, there it is. The Fanatic signing bonus, your chance to win $1,000. The contest keyword is SEED, S-E-E-D. As in Bill. Nah, I won't say it. You have until 25 minutes after the hour to enter it on the Fanatic mobile app or 975thefanatic.com. Don't get there, Bill. You get pregnant. Or you can text it to the special contest short code 45911. One random entry wins $1,000 in this company-wide contest. Each winner gets a call from Beasley, so be sure to answer your phone. Contest rules are at 975thefanatic.com. The Fanatic signing bonus is sponsored by Live Casino and Hotel Philadelphia, voted best casino in PA by Casino Player Magazine. 5 chances to win each weekday, 8 and 10 a.m., 12 noon, 3 and 5 p.m. Good luck to you. Oh, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, happy lunchtime to everybody out there on a Mother's Day weekend. And to celebrate, it is time for the News at Noon.
There's a whole lot going on in this world. It's time to catch up. Here's the News at Noon. 97.5 The Fanatic and 975thefanatic.com.
Hello, Ray Dunn. Are you there? It's time for the News at Noon, Ray. What do you got?
All right, we're going to start with a segment yesterday by the one and only Christopher Russo. And there's a new pope, obviously. We talked about it. We've talked about it again today. Christopher Russo had his own way of talking about it. Let me play for you the clip and explain what's going on here.
With Rob Kegman here on the new Pope today. This is a fascinating development. He's 69 years of age, which is Pope Francis is 76. He's 69. So they went younger. They do that consciously or not consciously, just the way it worked out. How about that?
He's starting his segment with Rob Kegman asking if age was a factor in the decision for the Pope, like it's a draft prospect. On top of this, we should clarify the guest is a former priest who was on Catholic radio, who has since left the ministry and now hosts his own sports gambling radio show. That is your Mad Dog Russo guest to break down the Pope.
Well, you once were a priest. And I don't know how you handle the gambling situation, but you handle that. Your take on the new Pope. A fascinating development. How about that? Now, can you tell me if the Pope actually went to a White Sox game? Because the word is that he likes the White Sox because of the South Side and the poor people down there. Because every Pope is supposed to do that. But tell me, what's your take on his White Sox fandom? Stop with this guy. You're killing me every day.
You're making Mike do it every day.
Once a week. It's a once a week thing.
It should be.
Fascinating development.
That's all we needed for today. All right, moving on from one sports talk guy to another. Colin Cowherd had his takeaway from the Knicks and the Celtics, and that to me is really secondary. He used a phrase I absolutely love, and I'm curious to see your guys' feelings on it, whether or not you agree with the take, and also if you are as obsessed with this term as I am.
And not only loses, had no guts. A lot of this is just the Knicks being a team that never quits. They're never afraid of the moment. Mikal Bridges and OG on the wing are dudes. Brunson and Josh Hart, classic Villanova overachievers. And last night, to me, was not just a win for the Knicks. It was a win for Manalytics. It's about men and resilience and grit and toughness and not being nervous Nelly in the clutch. And I know what I said. The Knicks are not going to win another game. I know it. But watching the Celtics collapse, you know what I thought about? The math nerds will not take over our sport. The basketball gods are pushing back.
A win for Manalytics, baby.
Manalytics? Well, I don't know what's I'm talking about. I didn't know Manalytics. I can't even spell it. Come on, man.
I got nothing.
With these guys.
I don't have anything.
Analytics. The Knicks are better.
I love the idea of analytics. I love the fact that the pushback on the nerds is just taking the word analytics.
Put an M in front of it.
Colin, very successful, but analytics, he loses me.
I will say,
I'm done doing Chris Russo.
Yeah, we can move from Chris Russo here to the actual conversation on the table. 75 missed threes in back-to-back games. Is it a move from the analytics to, as Coward puts it, the Manalytics? Are we starting to see a little bit more of the resilience, the grittiness come back to basketball games under 100 points?
Well, I can tell you this. If I'm a Celtics fan, that team's disgraceful. They really are. I mean, for a championship DNA team, they can fold like a cheap accordion. Seriously, they stink when it comes to the stretch and locking out games. And that comes from leadership. That comes from Tatum and Brown and the head coach, who's it's impossible not to stop the Knicks, who aren't a great offensive team, when you're up 22 straight games at home.
They're still going to win the series, though.
They're not winning those series.
Celtics will win that series.
They're not winning the series.
They're going to
take
the next two.
The Knicks are too gritty for them, man.
Celtics win the series.
You think the Celtics go into Madison Square Garden and win both those games?
Correct.
Nah.
You want to do a little friendly wager on who wins the series?
Yeah, I'll take the Knicks in 6.
All right, I'll take the Celtics. I'm not giving you the amount of games, but the Celtics will win in 6 or 7.
The Celtics don't have that tough. Without Porzingis, they're flimsy, and he's not 100%.
All right, what's on the table here?
I don't know.
Egg sandwich?
An egg sandwich. Yeah, an egg sandwich.
Nice breakfast sandwich.
I'll buy you a breakfast sandwich with egg. You buy me one without.
All right, deal.
All right? And but by the way, I'm spending more money than you.
I'm going to be rooting for the Knicks, just so you know.
No,
but
actually,
I'm taking the Celtics.
According to Wawa, we're spending the same money. $3.99 even without egg. It's outrageous. Go ahead. What else you got?
Keep it up with the Celtics and the Knicks. Paul Pierce had to pay up on the bet we talked about yesterday, saying he would walk to work in a robe barefoot. He did not pay up entirely on the bet, but here is the compilation that Speak took together of his long walk from home to work.
All right, time for me to give the step. All right, man. Welcome to this journey. Here I go. I can't believe this. Celtics got me out here like this, dog. I tried to tell him not to do it, but he was hard-headed, didn't want to listen. My man of my word, though. This is crazy, dog. I can't believe this. You be careful out here, man. Wear your seatbelt, man. All right, dog.
First of all, what is he, walking to California?
8 hours.
He lives in California.
Yes.
He's walking to Casa, beautiful weather. I mean, come on. Like you're running the marathon here. He didn't do it barefoot, Ray.
He did not do it barefoot.
Come on, man. You can't say you're going to do it barefoot and then put sneakers on.
Now, do we know that this just wasn't a social media bit? Did he actually walk the full 20 miles?
I mean, I wasn't there next to him the entire time.
See, I could see him
8 hours?
Walking on a sidewalk. They take video. He gets in the car.
Did you walk 20 miles in 8 hours?
If you didn't stop, I think that's what it would take you.
Really?
But how do you not stop? I don't think he did the full 20.
Well, he did it in shoes, which already takes away from the truth of this whole thing.
Yeah,
what was in that clip, though, Kevin Garnett drove by him at one point yelling at him. They got a wheelchair for him at the end of the walk to wheel him into the studios.
Well, was KG heckling him?
Yeah.
Right.
They had him stand outside the sunroof in a car yelling at him from the road.
Yeah, well, speaking of heckling, we're going to get to this Ricky Bell heckling Rory McIlroy. That's outrageous. But anyway, that's the news at noon, everybody. Thanks for listening to that. It was pretty good, Ray. 610-632-0975 is how you climb into the show. Greg from Bethlehem is checking in. We'll get to Greg after this.
ESPN's Adam Schefter.
I believe that.
Service First HVAC offering 0% financing for 48 months, rebates and tax credits to $4,300 when purchasing a heating and cooling system. You can learn more at servicefirsthvac.com. And we have a deal of the week going on, which is pretty cool. The deal of the week is the Fanatic Deal of the Week. A $50 pass to Treehouse World in Westchester for just $25. Zip line, climb, and explore for half price. Pretty good deal. This exclusive offer is available while supplies last at 975thefanatic.com/details. Deals. Sorry, not details.
Deals. You should get in on that, Mike. We should go zip line.
Nah, man. At this stage of my life, I'm not a zip liner.
See, I would like to do, there's trips to Costa Rica where you can zip line.
I did it there.
You did do it there?
Yes. It's incredible.
Yeah, tell me about it. I want to do it, man.
It was amazing. They take you from one side, you go over this just huge field, foresty area, and it was a long cross.
Can you let go and kill yourself?
Well, they got you harnessed.
Oh, so you can't.
You're supposed to
can't let go.
You're supposed to enjoy it, but you're also supposed to keep the one hand to keep the friction going. My friend and I forgot about that part of it. We came flying into the finish. We're just kind of able to slow ourselves down, but they were not happy with us at all. No, they were not thrilled with us.
Wait, what were you there? Did you study abroad there or something?
I did one of those, was it ESF, educational something tours. It was a 10-day trip that my high school actually went through. So I did 10 days going all over Costa Rica. Went Guanacaste, went Yaco Beach.
How about his school?
Yeah, that's nice, man.
Yeah, Costa Rica they got to.
It was cool.
I had a class trip to Washington, D.C. to learn about the.
It wasn't a field trip. It was post-school ending.
Oh, it was post-school?
Yeah. It was like a summer thing.
So you're telling me this thing is not death-defying?
No. I mean, I'm scared of heights, and I enjoyed it.
In that case.
I don't like heights. And
I don't like heights either. And when I went to do it, the scariest part, because I did it in Utah, in Park City, down a mountain, and the person told me the scariest part's when you first drop. And they were right. The moment I dropped, I was like, oh. But then once you're fine, it's awesome, man.
Yeah, once you just start looking over the whole thing,
it's
you
just
forget
beautiful.
that you're flying.
It's the same with parasailing. Have you ever done that?
I have not. Have you done that?
Yeah. You shoot up like a rocket ship, and it's like, oh, my God, you think you're leaving the Earth.
And then you relax.
Yeah, and then it's, you float, you can almost fall asleep.
Now, you parasailed. Have you ever skydove?
No. I would never.
Is it skydove or skydived?
Skydived.
Skydiving?
All right. Have you ever gone skydiving? There we go.
There you go.
Have you ever done that, Ray?
No. And that's one I don't think I will.
Yeah, I can't.
I couldn't do it.
My friend
I couldn't drop out of a plane. I'd be scared to death, man.
So would I.
My friend said he wanted to do skydiving for his bachelor party.
Yeah.
And I said, respectfully, I'll meet you guys all on the ground for drinks
what's
afterwards.
the deal? When you leap out of the plane, people that skydive can tell us this better, but do you drop like a brick? When you leave the plane, do you drop like a brick or do you float in the air before you pull the chute?
My understanding is that you don't drop like a brick. When you see the videos of people doing it and the other person pulls their cord and it looks like you fly up, it's not. It's just because the other people are still. I don't think you're dropping as fast as you think. I don't know.
I think you are going up. Because that's the way when the air catches you. That's like parasailing, that you shoot up like a rocket.
So you think they are shooting up?
Oh, yeah, I think they're shooting up because the air has to go underneath the parachute.
Yeah, we're going to have someone weigh in.
It naturally has to lift you a little bit.
We need a skydiving expert.
I know someone that's done it. I'm going to see them this weekend. I'll ask them.
I would not. That's the one thing I don't think I could ever do. There's no way I could jump out of a plane. I don't think I could.
No, again, the fear of that for me, you can call me a wussy, but the fear of jumping out of a plane and dropping like a stone would paralyze me with fear.
Yes. Yeah. Now, people are weighing in on the YouTube chat. So Kevin K says you float pretty weightless. There's no drop feeling at all.
Oh, really? Okay, so you drop in and you float weightless.
And then you see the curvature of the earth.
But see, that's the thing that would scare me. I'm in the middle of the curvature of the earth. It would freak me out.
I would be so freaked out, man. Until that parachute opened, too, I'd be definitely
afraid. I'm telling you, parasailing freaked me out.
I told you I can't even go to water parks that have the see-through steps.
That's
the ones that have no back. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, no, I thought I was scared of things. That's kind of crazy.
Have you ever done it where you're all the way up at the top of a water slide and they got the steps that you could see through and you're basically looking straight down?
Yeah. No, I understand.
I start to get lightheaded, man.
That's why I don't look down.
Yeah, that's probably good advice. All right, so Ray, tell us about You hung out at the golf tournament yesterday after our show. Bill and I had to do the 5-mile trek to get back to the shuttle bus, which took us 6 miles away from the place. But you hung around and you hooked up with Ricky Bo. Now, where was Ricky Bo during our show? When he was too good to come on the show?
Ricky did the whole I didn't know where you guys were thing.
Oh, one of those he did.
Which
he big time.
I somewhat believe and I somewhat don't.
Yeah, he big time.
He found a way to get where his tickets were, the nice spot he was set up. But I don't know if he found his way anywhere else.
Well, how did you find him?
By happenstance.
By happenstance.
He just followed the yells. He was looking whoever was screaming the loudest at the golfers, and he found them.
I literally walked over. We were near 17. I walked over to 18 and just was watching a little bit. I was trying to get a game plan in my head. I was looking at my phone of which hole should I go to? Where's everyone at? And I went walking because I was going to go over towards, I think it was 10, 11. And as I went walking, I saw actually Spencer McKirchner from NBC Sports, who was also there with Ricky. And he stopped me. And then wherever Spencer is, you can bet pretty solid that Ricky's going to pop out from somewhere. So then I saw the two of them, and we went wandering all over the course.
And so explain Ricky heckling golfers. Explain this phenomenon here that Ricky started yelling at the golfers.
Wait, we have audio. Can we play the audio? We have audio.
We don't have audio in the system. Okay.
Oh, it's not in the system, but who is he heckling? He heckled Rory.
He got a good yelling at Rory.
What was the point of the heckle of Rory?
Well, it was 18. Rory's day was about to come to an end. He had put one up on the green that looked like it was going to be a pretty solid finish, and Ricky was letting him know that if he won any Guinness, he'd be happy to supply.
Yeah, it was not really a heckle.
Yeah. So he went, Rory, you want some Guinness? We did
he
one
got
of
a
those?
laugh out of Rory. Rory turned, looked at us and laughed. The caddy was laughing with him.
So you could almost see Rory. He turns, and I think what he mouthed was, "Isn't that the guy that threw at Barry Bonds?" I think that's what he said.
He was in the '96 All-Star game, right?
He did a little more than that, though, didn't he? Just with the Guinness. What did he do? Did he heckle Ricky Fowler also?
Yeah, the Ricky Fowler one. He was yelling "Go Canes" at Ricky Fowler.
Go Canes, which doesn't make sense because Ricky didn't go to Miami. Come on, man. It's an erroneous insult.
All of us, by the way, accepted that as truth while we were with him. We were like, Ricky Fowler.
He was Oklahoma State guy, wasn't he?
Correct. He was Oklahoma State.
There was a couple of athletic Rickies
He is from Florida, Ricky Fowler, but he went to Oklahoma State.
He's from Florida, but he's an Oklahoma State guy.
Yeah. Wow, Ricky's not here today, is he? Is he in today?
No, I thought he said he was in today.
Or is he at the Ricky studio?
Oh, that's a good point. I don't know if
he's at the Ricky studio.
He could be at the Ricky. No, because I think he's going again this weekend.
If he's here, I want to find out where his thought process was on the Go Canes.
Well, he was upset that Fowler didn't respond.
Well, now we know why.
And then Fowler struggled on the next two holes. He missed really easy putts for Ricky Fowler.
Did Ricky have a couple in him?
I'm going to no comment that one.
Hey, he could do whatever he wants. He was off the clock.
Yeah,
Ricky Bo was off the clock.
We also had a counter going for every time we walked past someone. It was like, Ricky Bo, what's up? Because it was ridiculous everywhere we went.
610.
The overhit.
632
tremendously.
0975 is how you climb in. Greg and Bethlehem, hang in there. We'll get to you eventually. We're back after this.
Fanatic Sports Update.
Phillies sweep the Rays. I'm Ray Dunn. This update's brought to you by Groundworks, your expert for basement waterproofing and foundation repair since 1997. Book your free inspection at groundworks.com. The Phillies rallied from 5-1 deficit in the 8th to beat the Rays at 7-6 in 10 innings. Bryson started a 3-run homer in the 8th. Max Kepler driven the tying run in the 9th. And Brandon Marsh gave the Phillies lead with a double in the 10th. This is the second series sweep for the Phillies this season. They're now 22-15 on the year before they head to Cleveland for a 3-game set that starts tonight against the Guardians. Aaron Nola on the mound against Gavin Williams with the first pitch at 7:10 tonight. Elsewhere in town, we're days away from the NBA draft lottery where the Sixers are looking to keep their pick. It has to land in the top 6 for that to happen. President of Basketball Operations Daryl Morey joined us on the Mike Missanelli Show yesterday and talked through a lot of things with this Sixers team, including Morey's belief that the best of Embiid is still there.
No, I don't think that's written. I don't think we know that. I think MVP Joel Embiid is still potentially there. He's in an age where lots of players still play to their prime. He's in an age where lots of players, even with issues, have come back and played at a high level. So, no, I do not think that.
You can hear the whole interview with Morey on our website, 975thefanatic.com. This update's also brought to you by the New Jersey Division of Highway Traffic Safety. Motorcyclists share the road with us, but they are hard to see. Look twice before changing lanes, approaching intersections, or merging into traffic. A message from the New Jersey Division of Highway Traffic Safety. I'm Ray Dunn on your home for Truist Championship coverage, 975 The Fanatic and 975thefanatic.com.
We haven't heard his views on Paul George yet, but I asked him about Paul George and what a disastrous season, and I went all in on how disinterested he was, and I was trying to really get him to say, although I knew he wouldn't say it, as a general manager, when you invest in a guy and he gives you that kind of performance, how does that make you feel? But he wasn't about to go there. But he said the exact opposite, which I don't believe, because when I saw Paul George, I saw a man totally disinterested in playing with this franchise. So here's what he had to say yesterday about Paul George.
Obviously wasn't his best year. He would come out and say that himself. I think he maybe did that. We believe he'll bounce back. He was an elite defender. Offensively, he was brought in to be part of a unit with elite play on the wing. Defensively, space the floor on offense with Joel and Tyrese, and we believe that can still work. Obviously, we haven't really had much of a look at that. Even when they were healthy, certain guys would leave the game, or Joel was not 100% where he needed to be, so we have not seen that at this point.
He's a year older. A year older. Embiid is a year older. What are we talking about here?
I know, man. I know. I don't know what's going to happen next season, though, if Embiid is not 100%, Paul George is not 100%. Are we going to go through this all over again?
All right, well, that's on that note. Let's hear what he had to say about Joel Embiid and the so-called procedure, which I really tried hard to get him to tell me what exactly did the procedure benefit. How did it benefit the player? Here's what he had to say.
I believe that was announced. He had a scope. It looks optimistic. He's with the doctor that did Kawhi. He's up in New York working with him this week. He's working every day at the facility. I was with him yesterday working with his folks. So he's working hard, doing whatever he can to get back out on the floor. I mentioned this before. His issues are not, I break my arm, it heals and you come back. This is more of a complex case that these things can trend in a good direction over time, and we believe they will.
He had a scope. After they went in, do you know what the doctor said after the scope? Yes, it's a knee. That's what they discovered. It's actually a knee. It's not an elbow. The scope revealed that it's a knee, Bill.
So I wouldn't be surprised if the doctor said that's a bleeped up knee. That could have also been what was said.
He had a scope, but tell me what was fixed. Give me something. They snipped a piece of meniscus. They did something.
They did something, and you tried to push him. He's not giving us anything on that. Also, just as if anyone missed the whole interview of Daryl Morey, it is now up on YouTube, so they can watch that.
It's up on YouTube. Now, we didn't have our YouTube yesterday, so people were trying to watch us live. So explain how this works now with the.
Well, they videoed you.
They videoed me,
and now they've synced
I thought the camera wasn't working.
He videoed you with his phone yesterday.
Oh, Brandon did?
Brandon was videoing you.
Oh.
And now they've synced up the audio so you could watch it in its entirety, and you will see that we're at the Truist with Daryl Morey.
Did he have a steady hand when he was doing it?
I hope so, but you may even if you heard the interview.
It's a bootleg copy, this is.
You may want to go back because you'll also see Mike's facial expressions to every answer.
Oh, really?
That may be the better.
Did I have unusual facial expressions?
Well, I think you were like a lot of people listening to some of the stuff that was being said.
Ray, for Bill's purposes and for the people who don't know Seinfeld, the bootleg man in the episode of Seinfeld, what was his name?
Oh, crap.
The bootleg guy that strong-armed Jerry into doing a bootleg for him.
Yeah, I forget. As I remember Kramer going and filming him, but I don't remember the guy's name.
See, I could still win a Seinfeld contest because his name was Brody. How good is that, right?
That's pretty good, buddy.
It was really well done.
I don't remember his name. I just remember the episode.
Thank you.
I just went on, too, to look at the YouTube video that was put up. Mm-hmm. Not only are you in it, you could see that my shirt was the appropriate size as well, because apparently I didn't realize I was in this video, and I am. Appropriate size shirt.
Bill, by the way, had the tightest outfit on the golf course yesterday. People were doing a double take. It was so tight. They couldn't believe it.
I will say this.
It was like he had a, well, I don't want to say it.
Now, I will say this.
You needed a girdle.
I felt like the shirt was the appropriate size, but I will admit the pants were a little tight.
The shirt was not the appropriate size. You do not fit into a large golf shirt. It's an XL. You're an XL guy.
I can't do that.
I take a large.
No, when I golf, the last thing I want is a baggy ass shirt. I needed it to
you
be.
Should have it. Should have a little room so you can swing the damn club.
No, it was fine. The pants, yes. Pants were a little rough.
What would make you wear those pants?
They were golf
When
pants.
you put them on,
Yeah,
did you not
they felt
realize
comfortable.
that you had it was going to be unsightly? Frankly,
Yeah, my dad said they fit like a cheap hotel. I won't give you the the punchline. My wife did say to me that they were a little tight, but
your wife said that you're a little tight. How did she let you out the door with them?
she was like, "Show it off, baby."
People will make fun. I saw the memes, and they had the Ben Stiller character with the bulge
from Dodgeball. He's pumping it up. They were a little tight.
Oh my god, dude! There's something really weird about you in tight clothes. What is it with you?
I don't know,
Greg,
I've always
can you
rocked
explain
it.
this?
I've always
phenomenon
rocked
to
the
me?
tighter clothes. I don't know why.
You always rocked the tighter.
Well,
clothes.
not in the 90s. In the 90s, it was like
what is
cooler
it?
with the baggy jeans and stuff.
What is this? Is this a demented thing, Ray?
Works on his body. I guess he wants to display.
All right, let me tell you what happened with the
I would prefer to no
If we're
comment.
being honest with the pants,
I would prefer no comment, Ray says.
I've put on a little bit of weight below the waist. So my pants are a little tighter than they used to be. Part of it's intentional. I started doing like legs and squats again. And others is just because I'm not as, I guess, strict with my diet anymore.
I got to increase my legs and squats.
You were the one that didn't have ice cream though yesterday, right?
I did not. I still try to eat pretty healthy.
Yeah, I was gonna say. Let's not act like you've all of a sudden.
I know. I've been doing squats and stuff. You can tell the glutes are looking pretty good, Ray.
Please stop. Please, I'm begging you.
I can't take it.
I'm begging you, son.
begging you.
The best was
I
Ray.
am begging you,
Ray
too,
sat
please.
next to me yesterday. I put my arm around him. I'm like, dude, usually you're behind the glass. Now we're next to each other. He goes, please stop being weird.
I actually I sent an email to management as soon as he did that.
Please stop being weird.
HR got the memo.
It wasn't an HR complaint. It was, hey, next time we do one of these golf things, you know what? Maybe I will just stay back at the studio. Maybe I should just be on the board.
Let's get to Greg in Bethlehem. Greg, you're on 97.5 The Fanatic. Oh, let me punch him up here. Hold on. See what happens. There we go. Wait. No.
I go to the bar.
No.
I rent my coat.
All right, here we go.
I call the bartender. I
I said, look, man. Look out here. All right. Come on. Hold on a second. There he is. All right, we got him. One scotch. One beer. Go ahead,
love it.
Greg. How you doing today?
I'm good. I wanted to ask Bill, how long does it take that spray paint to dry?
See, yeah, you saw the same thing. The little gray spray paint on the pant leg.
Yeah.
Yeah, kind of weird, man.
Yeah.
I got to be honest. They're a little weird.
Yeah.
Seriously. People were mocking me. They go, Mikey Moose has joggers on? Meanwhile, Bill's got a brick in his pants. People are getting on me. Go ahead.
Hey, Brandon Marsh, what do you think is responsible for his recent resurgence? Are the Tampa Bay Rays?
I don't know. Hitters are weird, man. They have different levels of concentration. He's found a little better concentration. He's seeing the ball longer. I don't know. I can't explain hitting. It's so difficult that you can't figure out what guys are seeing.
Yeah, I mean, he made a dramatic turnaround, although it's a small sample size. It seems like he's being a little more selective, and he can contribute. I'm glad to see the Phillies able to play some station-to-station ball, because you can't always count on guys hitting dingers.
Yeah, I think their approach has been a little better. Definitely, their approach has been better.
Well, it seems like they're not swinging for the fences all the time.
Yeah, a guy like Marsh, he's got to do a little dribs and drabs to get confidence. I mean, when you put the ball in play and you get singles to left center, you get a little confidence that next time up, if you get a pitch inside, you can handle it. Maybe you can pull and yank one, but you have to have the confidence to be able to do that. So I think that's an easy way to get it done.
Yeah, he looks much more at ease at the plate than he did. Prior to him going out, it seemed like he was scared stiff.
He really was. He looked real scared. Yeah, he had the look of a guy who doesn't believe he's going to get a hit. So, these little dribs and drabs are bringing back his confidence a little bit. I still don't think he's good. Like, he's not a 280 hitter in this league. He's a 240, 250 hitter.
As long as he can contribute and keep the train moving.
You're right. Absolutely right. All right, buddy. Good talking to you today. Greg from Bethlehem checking in. How about that?
Yeah, have a good weekend, Greg.
Yeah. I got him locked somehow. This is a contingency.
You got to hit the drop.
There you go. I did hit the drop,
Right,
but he was
What was
locked.
that lock? I don't know what that means. What would that?
I don't know. That's the first time I saw locked. I must have been heavy on the finger.
A little bit.
All right.
But, yeah, Marsh, you talk about, a little rehab assignment, maybe doing him some good, and I think it did.
Yeah, I don't know.
On the other side, though.
What do you got?
Marsh went down to the Iron Pigs. We haven't really talked about what happened with the Iron Pigs yesterday. Little Andrew Painter start yesterday. So we'll talk about that coming up.
We will. Andrew Painter. The road back for Andrew Painter. What would they do with him is the question. 610-632-0975.
We want to hear from you, so text us.
42, Mike Missanelli Show. We always venture and then we come back to the main subject. But I was reading a story about a woman expert on she is advising men what not to do. 5 things that men do that instantly turn off women and kill any chance of love.
Oh, Ray, you listening?
Yeah, working in sports talk radio is actually number 1. So tough for me.
Yeah.
It may be. This is actually good stuff. I want to hear what the 5 are.
I don't know if you get your expectations too high, but she says, first thing, she warns men against engaging in, quote, cutie baby talk during the courting process. Yeah, that was a Seinfeld episode, too. Cute baby talk. Oh, schmoopy.
Oh, yeah. I now know exactly.
Kissy. Bill, you look like you're a baby talk guy.
Nah.
No?
Nah.
You call her mummy?
I can get on board with that. I think if you switch to the baby talk too soon, it does. It kills the...
not cute, it's cringy, the Love Maven said.
And it kills kind of the sexual attraction a little bit. You start babyfying.
Mumsy. Second no. Picking at your teeth during a meal.
Ooh. People do that? Like on their first couple dates?
Apparently they do. Nope. It says she's trying to focus on a conversation and you're elbow deep in your own molars. Bad breath is one thing, but picking food out of your teeth with your nail, it's a primal repulsion.
Now, I keep the Glide little floss things, the little handheld floss things. Keep those in my car. So when you get in after a meal, you could just...
Oh, you do? You keep a little flossy thing in there.
Because you ever get something in your tooth.
Oh, yeah, steak.
Yeah, you got to have the little
I got
floss.
2 spots in my mouth, one on the left, one on the right.
The problem with them is you don't know where to throw them out. Like if you're in the car, what do? So sometimes I got to put them in the little cup holder. And it's like a nasty little floss thing in the cup holder.
You mean, like you don't throw them out the window like the old days? Remember people just used to throw crap out of their window and litter? You remember those days?
I hate when people litter.
Littering used to be a thing.
People still do it.
Stuff out.
People still do it.
Cigarette wrappers. Throw it out. I chased down a guy once.
Yeah, that bothers me a lot.
Yeah, guy threw a cigarette pack out. I chased him down. I caught him at a light. I go, dude, what do you think you're doing? I think, who's going to pick that up? You got some bird that's going to come and take that and put and deposit it in a trash can?
Let me ask you, though.
Yeah?
What I do think is acceptable, banana peel, apple core. I feel like depending on where you are.
No, it's not.
It's biodegradable.
It's not. It's biodegradable.
Like if you got a banana peel.
Are you out of your mind?
If you got a banana, let's say, all right, you're on the Atlantic City Expressway, right? You just ate a banana.
Are you going to throw it out your window?
You're in the middle of nowhere. I feel like you're completely justified in throwing the banana peel.
There's something wrong with you.
If you throw the banana peel,
you're littering.
You're not.
Yes, you are. How long is it going to take to biodegrade? Meanwhile, you have a banana peel on the road?
That's fine. It's not trash.
Dude, I can't believe you're even serious now with this.
I think that the only thing you could throw out your window.
Apple core and a banana peel
banana.
You're throwing out the window? What is wrong with you?
I think it's acceptable, is what I'm saying.
Right.
Yeah, you're nuts. Was this Mario Kart or something?
Wait a second. What if you're I'm not saying on wait a second. I'm not saying on somebody's lawn, and I'm not saying in the city. But if you're like in the middle of nowhere on the expressway where it's all woods.
So when people drive by, they're going to see a banana peel on the road?
No, because maybe some animal came along and ate it. Maybe a little deer.
Yeah, let's attract the animals to the road. That's not going to cause any problems.
I don't know how you've attracted any woman in your life. You're a barbarian.
I think that's
really
acceptable. Banana peel acceptable.
You're like a saber-toothed tiger.
I think that's a compliment.
Yeah, actually, I want to be a saber-toothed tiger.
Yeah, pretty badass.
That's pretty tough. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, appreciate that.
That's what you are.
It's a top-line predator, though.
Yeah, it is. Saber-toothed tiger?
I mean, I feel like food pyramid, you climb up pretty top there.
All right, Ray, this is one for you. Posting pouty selfies.
Yeah, I do it all the time. Tough look for me.
Wait, do men post that? This is what men aren't supposed to do?
Yes. If your dating profile looks like it belongs in a Marvel casting folder, she's not swooning. It's not seductive.
So I'm curious on this. This is actually funny because of the Weather Channel thing, that video. I was horrified because the front-facing video, I really cringe at, fellow dudes who do a lot of the front-facing video.
Don't you think that would be
selfie.
Bill back in the day?
Well, I mean, for people that are trying to get into content, that's how you do it.
Yeah.
Like, you got to get over that. I still have not gotten over that, so that's why I don't do that type of content.
I'm Bill. I drink protein shakes and throw banana peels out windows.
All right. You guys are in the minority on this.
What?
The YouTube chat is 100% in agreement with me.
Then you guys are all pigs.
On the biodegradable.
You guys are all pigs. How long will that take to biodegrade and that thing stays as litter?
No, this person.
You guys.
This is how I feel.
You're uncouth.
He says, I hate litter and litter bugs, but I'm with Billy Collard Greens on this.
You are.
But I'm confused. The street part of this, it's not on the
barbarians.
pavement.
If you think it's okay to throw a banana peel out a window,
Listen to these. I agree with Bill. That is perfectly acceptable.
I don't agree.
You can throw a banana peel, an apple,
can't throw
an
a
orange
banana peel,
it's going to degrade in 2 to 3 days.
Oh my God!
These are all people
I
weighing
swear to
in.
God, I can't teach couth
It's
anymore.
against societal norms.
Now let me see if you get this, my man JJ. Anybody get this reference? O'Doyle rules.
I don't even know what the hell that is.
Ray's too young.
Idiots.
Billy Madison.
Oh,
You remember that? O'Doyle rules.
Yes.
And then they throw the banana peel out.
Yes.
And then they end up driving off the road, and the whole family dies because they lose control on the banana.
Good for them. Anyway, the fifth and final faux pas: men who can't control their temper when engaging with technology. Ooh, this could be me. Shouting at the remote, throwing your phone. Well, I don't do that, but technology does frustrate me.
Technology.
Lack of technology. On the other side, our buddy T Love. I haven't heard from T Love in a while.
Yeah, looking forward to it.
He says Daryl Morey is clueless. Well, I wasn't thinking that. Daryl Morey's a genius. Just ask him. The Mike Missanelli Show continues.
Fanatic Sports Update.
Phillies sweep the Rays. I'm Ray Dunn with this Fanatic Sports Update. The Phillies rallied from a 5-1 deficit in the 8th to beat the Tampa Bay Rays 7-6 in 10 innings last night. Bryson started a 3-run homer in the 8th. Max Kepler drove in the tying run in the 9th, and Brandon Marsh gave the Phillies the lead with a double in the 10th. This is the second series sweep for the Phillies this season. They're now 22-15 on the year before they head to Cleveland for a 3-game set that starts tonight against the Guardians. Aaron Nola's on the mound against Gavin Williams with the first pitch at 7:10. Elsewhere in town, we're days away from the NBA draft lottery, but the Sixers looking to keep their pick. For that, needs to stay in the top 6. President of Basketball Operations Daryl Morey joined us on the Mike Missanelli Show yesterday and talked to a lot of things, including Morey's belief that the best of Embiid is still there.
No, I don't think that's written. I don't think we know that. I think MVP Joel Embiid is still potentially there. He's in an age where lots of players still play to their prime. He's in an age where lots of players, even with issues, have come back and played at a high level. So, no, I do not think that.
You can hear the whole interview on our website, 975thefanatic.com, or on our YouTube page, 975 The Fanatic. This update is brought to you by Mattress Firm. Get matched and sleep at night during Mattress Firm's upgrade your sleep sale. Take 120 nights to love your new bed or your money back. Restrictions apply. I'm Ray Dunn on your home for Truist Championship coverage, 975 The Fanatic and 975thefanatic.com.
As we roll into the 1 o'clock hour, 610-632-0975. Before we get to T-Love, I would like to play Daryl Morey how he is telling people just it's a little happy message that they're going to be better next year. Just a little optimism, so you can take some optimism into the offseason here. And when they come out in September, you can be sure there's going to be a different squad. So here's Daryl Morey as what he said yesterday in our interview with him.
It was a disaster season. There's really no way to say anything but that. Look, I would say the roster next year is going to be much stronger. One thing when you have a disaster season is how do you take advantage of it? You want to give yourself a chance at a high pick in the draft, which we have. We've got an early second. Next year, our roster will be more athletic and younger with Grimes, with Edwards, with Bona, with Jared McCain, with potentially a top draft pick, and we're going to have a healthier team. So I would say, look, hang in. We feel your pain, fans, and, let's play this out next year. We feel very strongly about next year.
All right. Feel very strongly about next year. Going to be a healthier team. I know. What's he, Dr. No? You figure out they're going to be healthier. Had two guys that couldn't stay healthy last year, but they're a year older, but they're going to be healthier. Okay. That's what he had to say. So let's go to T-Love and Delco. T-Love, you're on 97.5 The Fanatic. What's up, T?
What's going on, fellas?
How you doing?
Good to be back. I thought I was banned for a while. I what the hell, man? I couldn't get through.
Yeah, I know. There were a lot of people. But now we have the new phone system, T-Love.
Yeah, man. Maybe we'll get the new basketball team to go with it, right?
I don't think so.
I tell you, man. When I think of Daryl Morey, it makes me think of Ice Cube's song, "No Vaseline."
Oh, you know that song?
You know what I'm saying?
Mike doesn't know.
I don't know.
No, don't play it.
You can't play that song.
I will not play it. Don't worry.
That was after he left NWA.
Okay.
And he wrote his song, man. That shit. Oh. Drop me. Drop me.
What was that?
I'm trying to say we can't play the song, and then I mess up.
Hey, Mike, how many Hail Marys is that, or Hail Leos
for Bill?
Is that for?
He needs absolution from the Pope for that one.
I actually didn't say the word. I said,
you said it.
Let's not try and walk down that path again. All right.
Yep.
Thank you, Ray.
All right. Listen, I bought season tickets. This guy was still selling season tickets without telling us that our star player was injured, hurt. Never knew when he was coming back. They dangled him like a carrot in front of us, like a hungry rabbit. And then he got us with no Vaseline.
Yeah, man. Listen,
it's plain and simple.
Yeah, I hear you. Listen, I don't know. Look, I know what he was going to say most of the time, but I had to ask the questions to put him on that kind of a griddle. I asked him. Basically, I implied he shouldn't have kept his job in that interview. And I wanted him to respond to that.
Yeah, I think he did a great job. I think it was a great Mike Missanelli interview. He basically tried to get around things, by giving us his resume, which is laughable because, you got two of the biggest choke artists attached to your name in basketball. One being, now we all know, Mr. Harden, Mr. No-Show in Game 6 and 7, everywhere he goes.
Yeah.
And also now Joel Embiid, who...
I thought you were going to say Paul George. You said Embiid. You want Embiid.
I can't include Paul George because we already knew that he wasn't going to play. I mean, that part, you have to, ask this guy, well, do you know basketball?
Yeah.
That's the question.
Yeah, you see, that's the thing, T-Love, that is dangerous to hear. That he seems to be misguided about what I think are obvious things. Like the notion that this is going to get better for Embiid and George a year older and not healthier. You don't get healthier when you get older. There is no miracle procedure that can make you 10 years younger where you were in your prime.
Yeah, look, I understood signing Paul George. I understood the thought process behind it was you finally were going to get the two-way wing, the pair with Embiid and Maxey, and we had to try to take advantage of Joel Embiid's prime. So I understood why you would go out and do that. The one thing I still just can't get behind, and I still don't think it was properly explained by Daryl Morey, is why you also had to give Joel Embiid the extension when you gave it to him. Because you could have gone and got Paul George, and I get he said he wanted them to play together, but we could have at least seen what it was like before you, and make sure that Joel was in fact healthy. They could have played out this entire season. Because let's go back and pretend, Mike, for a second, that they didn't give Joel the extension when they gave it to him. We'd be sitting here now saying, Joel needs to prove this season that he can stay healthy, or they're going in a different direction.
Yeah, there's a connection to this whole thing that we'll get to. You're listening to the Mike Missanelli Show on 97.5 The Fanatic, Burlington, Philadelphia, Beasley Media Group station, broadcasting live from the Comcast Business Studios, powering possibilities. All right, so to that note, here's where I have the problem. If I'm a savvy general manager or director of basketball operations, whatever he is, and I look at the league's reaction to Paul George, the league's reaction was, he ain't worth the contract that he's asking for. That is a fundamental evaluation by everybody in basketball, because nobody's willing to give him the deal. Not even his own team, who sees him every day. Now, for some reason, that does not resonate with Daryl Morey, and he gives him 4 years. So once he gives him 4 years, he goes, okay, well, we now have to be in sync with Joel's time, and so we'll give him the same. So they're here together without thinking that these guys that have been constantly injured are going to actually be here for that length of time and be playing at a higher level. That is fundamental general manager malpractice.
So if at the time when they gave Paul George the 4 years, if George said, I'm not coming there unless you give me 4, I don't know what the alternative is.
The alternative is you don't give him 4. And you go, okay, well, we'll try to do it another way. Because all you're doing is inviting more trouble on your franchise. Well, what did you do? Were you that desperate for a Paul George that you had no idea how he was going to play? You based it on 1 year on a contract year, while the 3 years previous, and all these people say about, he plays when he wants to. He plays when he wants to. You didn't hear any of that?
I know. I just have looking back now, yeah, clearly it was the wrong move, but I think Morey was mainly celebrated in the offseason last year.
Why didn't I like it and you liked it?
Well, you were concerned about the
Why didn't I like it? Why? So my fundamental concerns were that the guy, A, is always injured, B, may not want to play on the East Coast because he's never been here, and he's a California guy. So, C, nobody wants to give him that kind of contract because of his reputation. Why did I see that and nobody else saw it, especially the general manager?
I think it was a risk that they were willing to take because the alternative was you're never getting out of the East. If they don't sign Paul George and they try to make that big splash, and yeah, granted now we could look back and say it didn't work, and I agree with you, it's up to Morey to know what's going to happen, what's not. But the alternative was you weren't going to be good enough to beat the Celtics. You probably weren't going to be good enough to beat the Knicks, especially before they signed George. The Knicks made that big splash, right? That happened first,
look
right?
Look what you've done now. You've put yourself in a worse position. It's easier to get out of a situation that's not as dire than one that's now dire. And to convince yourself that nothing is going to go wrong this time and everything's going to go right, it's just not, it's faulty thinking.
I understand your point, but I think the issue is knowing, let's use the same argument we're making against Morey now. Now, Joel Embiid's not getting better with age, right? He's not getting better with age. So if that, in fact, is true, which it is, it's a universal truth, people don't get better with age, you had to do something to try to take advantage of Joel while he was still in the prime of his career.
But you brought back a guy who was already in that condition of not getting better with age.
He's talking about Paul George?
Yes.
But you're right. It was a contract year, but basing it off of his contract year, he played 74
then
games.
Why didn't
he
his
set
own
career highs.
team give him the contract? They saw him perform that year.
They didn't want to give him the 4th year.
Why not? They didn't trust him.
They didn't trust him. But what I'm saying is, for the Sixers, if you looked at Embiid and said he's not going to get any better with age, we need to take advantage of this window right now. We don't have the luxury of bringing in a young guy.
The window was what? A big accordion window of 4 years? Is that what the window was?
Even if the window was 3, you'd be willing to sacrifice that 4th year, saying, all right, we'll give Paul George the extra year so we could do it now.
Bad choice at the start. It turned out to be a bad choice. I'm not a freaking general manager. A general manager is supposed to feel those things. Let's start the hour with my favorite quote from Daryl. Can we do it? We're going to start every hour with my favorite quote, maybe of all time, since I've been doing Sports Talk Radio. Here is the president of basketball operations defending his record.
I mean, his first losing season I've ever had, more deep playoff runs than pretty much any executive in league history. I've never been to the lottery. That's, probably because we only win, so I'm pretty good at the winning thing.
All righty. I'm like, okay. After a season like that, he's made more deep playoff runs than probably any executive in history. Did he say history or the league? Did he say history? What was it?
I mean, his first losing season I've ever had, more deep playoff runs than pretty much any executive in league history. I've never been to the lottery.
In league history, he said.
All I do is win, no matter what. Got money on
All right.
I can never get it
Okay.
up. And every time I step up in the building, everybody hands go up.
Okay, I'm just all right. I mean, I hate to keep belaboring this point, but that's unbelievable to say that.
Yeah, it was. After that, it was rough.
All right, all right. We have a couple calls we'll get to if you want to join in and comment on any of the things, including the men thing. I got another situation that I was reading about. This was a New York Times story. Is it wrong to date your best friend's girl after they break up?
Oh, yeah.
Well, we'll talk about
no
it.
scenario.
We'll talk about it after we talk about Daryl Morey. All right? 610-632-0975 is how you climb into the show. A couple open lines. Good time to get in. The Mike Missanelli Show continues.
Friday.
110, Mike Missanelli Show, 97.5 The Fanatic. Well, just to keep up with the Phillies in the standings, we haven't hit that in a while. We hit it when they were out of the first six. But they have since climbed up to the sixth spot right now, the sixth seed if the playoffs began tomorrow. Dodgers 1, Mets 2, Cubs 3. Padres 4, Giants 5, Phillies 6. That would put them in a first-round match with the Cubbies.
Yeah, and they're only a game and a half back of the Mets in the NL East.
Well, there you go.
I was actually looking at the updated odds earlier in the show, too. So right now, Mets are plus 100 to win the East, and the Phillies are plus 165. And as you know, because Daryl Morey pointed it out yesterday, when the Vegas gives you good odds, it means you build a good team. So he wanted us to know yesterday. You remember that?
Yeah.
Well, we had the third best odds.
Yeah.
So let's talk about what Vegas did. That'll get you a banner in the rafters.
Yeah. All right. Well, that's good, though. The Phils are moving up. They're playing well. The Diamondbacks have kind of hit a wall. They're 5-5 in their last 10. Well, the Phillies are 8-2. It's a surge.
And this weekend now it'll be a good test because Cleveland is 7-3 in their last 10. They're also 22-15. So we're going to see them play a decent baseball.
Guardians,
team.
They're always decent, man. I don't know what it is. They don't have a lot of star caliber players, but they're right there. They play good ball.
Yeah, Kenny Lofton, great center fielder.
Kenny Lofton.
Do you remember Kenny Lofton?
That's what came to mind for
when
you?
I think of, not the Guardians, when I think of
that's
the
what
Cleveland.
Charlie Manuel managed that team.
Yeah, that's what I always think of. When
Albert
I think of
Bell,
that Cleveland
Carlos
team.
Baerga.
Not a fan of the Guardians.
I like it. I like the Guardians. I like it.
What's the meaning there?
It guards the palace. They guard the palace. They're the Guardians. They're the Guardians of life. Let's go to Greg in Lehigh Valley. Greg, you're on 97.5 The Fanatic. What's up, Greggy? Greg? Hello, Greg. Where's my man? Greg, you there? Greg in Lehigh Valley?
I put him on hold.
I put him on hold?
No, I said just put him on hold. He's not available.
Put him on hold.
By the way, you're wrong on the Guardians.
What do you mean? What is it? I don't know what it is. It sounds good.
This makes it even worse, I think. The Cleveland Guardian name originates from the Guardians of Traffic statues on the Hope Memorial Bridge near their field.
Oh, okay. Well, there you go.
So they're the Guardians of Traffic, Mike.
Well,
does that sound like a great baseball name?
You take it too literally. The Guardians in general and the Commanders in general are pretty solid names. Don't you think?
Commanders is okay.
Commanders is good. So the Guardians. Guardians is a cousin of the Commanders.
I understood why the Commanders changed their name because it was a derogatory term.
Yeah.
The Cleveland Indians, though, I don't know.
You don't call them Indians anymore. Native Americans. What's wrong with you?
I understand that.
Apparently,
I understood. The logo was very insulting.
Yeah.
But look, there's still high school go by the name.
They're not Indians. Indians are people who live in India.
I understand that because they thought they were in India.
What's wrong with you? You're throwing banana peels out the window. You're being politically incorrect.
I understood history. Christopher
You're
Columbus
cursing on the air.
He landed in India.
What the hell's going on with you today?
What I'm saying is there's a lot of then how come the Braves still do the damn chant?
Well, that's the racist doing the chant. Now, Braves in general, it connotates a brave name. The Braves. Indians are misnomered. All right, let's go to Reggie in Montana. Reggie, you're on 97.5 The Fanatic. Reggie.
Yo,
what's up, Reggie? How you doing, buddy? You're in Montana today?
I'm near Butte.
That's a beautiful town, Butte.
Yeah, mining. And of course, with mining off duty, you got bars and all the.
Reggie, you should write a travel guide, man.
Yeah.
You ever write a travel guide?
Yes, I should. I will.
Yeah, get some time. When you get some time off, get in front of a laptop, start pounding it out.
Reggie, does your truck have the sleep area?
Yes, bunk beds.
Bunk beds?
I've always wanted to see inside one of the tractor trailer areas back there.
Who are you bunking with, Reg?
Okay. Nobody. Nobody sleeps with me. No one rides with me.
Is it comfortable in there? Do you have a comfortable bed in there?
Yes, it is.
Wow,
yes,
look at that. Bunk beds.
And the newest thing with the HVAC is it'll run and provide comfortable, whether it's winter or summer, without the engine running. So it helps the companies save some fuel.
How about that? High tech, man.
Yeah. Oh, earlier, when Bill gave you you are probably right about your Wawa egg whites, I'm here to say that you are right, not probably.
I am right. See that? See, it takes work to get an egg white.
Yes. And if Bill was coaching a team, they would be the probably, almost, not necessarily.
You're not wrong.
Yeah, that's pretty good, Reg. Reg, you're on fire. Boom, boom.
I just try to be. I try to be respectful to Mike because I don't want to just prove him wrong all the time. So I give him like these little softballs.
Yeah. Reggie, let me ask you this question: you're driving a truck. You eat a banana. Would you ever throw a banana peel out the window?
No.
No. There's a protocol. It's Couth. It's called Couth.
You're in the middle of nowhere, Reggie.
Yeah.
It's a wooded area. I think you could throw the banana peel in the woods. What if you're on a hike, Mike? Would you throw the banana peel on the ground?
Different. You're talking about from the road you're throwing stuff. That's visible stuff.
Right.
All right. I'm always right, Reggie.
And people that flick their ashes from the cigarettes and then they throw the cigarettes out.
You throwing a cigarette? Wait, I didn't throw a cigarette butt out your window. What is that?
I agree
How
there.
do you drop a cigarette and then stamp it out and leave it there?
Yeah, but you can't compare a cigarette to a banana.
It's the same thing. The cigarette's biodegradable too.
Couth.
Couth, it's called. Talk to me about the Phillies, Reggie. What are you seeing?
I think they should have stayed in spring training for another month and then started the season because
Well, they're playing very well right now.
Starting to get they're starting to show some consistency. That's good. And then Mother's Day, my mother has always provided me and my siblings, 2 sisters, 2 brothers, with steady, stable reassurance, not up and down with she's been very, very steady, and we are very blessed.
That's
to have
beautiful
her
sentiment.
around.
See, this is the type of sentiment that I'm talking about here. I wanted to hear some mother stories today. We didn't get any. The people give a testimonial to their mom in the last hour here.
Yeah, we haven't gotten.
Why is your mom important and special to you? What does she do? What lessons does she impart? How did you grow under her umbrella? You know?
Yeah. A lot of great moms. You haven't heard about them, though.
I can tell when Bill has nothing to say.
Yeah. I just repeat it.
Or it says, Ray?
Yeah, Ray, what do you think, Ray?
What do you think, Ray?
Well, I had asked you this morning because I didn't know if people were going to weigh in on their own mothers. I had asked you about the fictional mothers.
Yeah.
You know,
the worst and the best?
The worst and the best.
Who's the best? I don't even know. Who would be the best in fictional? Who's your idea for the best mom?
You know who was a great mom?
Who's that?
Was Claire Huxtable.
Yeah, Claire Huxtable was a great mom.
Right? Claire Huxtable was a great mom.
How about Richie Cunningham's mom? What was
yeah,
her
who
name?
was her name? Marion.
Marion.
That's right. Marion Cunningham.
Yeah.
Some other great moms.
The worst mom in the history of moms.
Oh, it was Mrs. Soprano.
Olivia Soprano.
She was the worst.
610-632-0975. I gave my life to my children on a silver platter. Mike Missanelli Show returns after this.
Fanatic Sports Update.
Phillies sweep the Rays. I'm Ray Dunn with this Fanatic Sports Update, and it's brought to you by Family & Company Jewelers. Get the perfect gift for mom in your life. Browse the huge selection of gifts at every price point. Route 70 in Marlton or at FamilyJewelers.com, South Jersey's diamond destination. Phillies rallied from a 5-1 deficit in the 8th to beat the Tampa Bay Rays 7-6 in 10 innings last night. Bryson Stott hit a 3-run homer in the 8th. Max Kepler drove in the tying run in the 9th, and Brandon Marsh gave the Phillies the lead with a double in the 10th. The second sweep of the season for the Phils. They're now 22-15 on the year before they head to Cleveland for a 3-game set that starts tonight with the Guardians. Aaron Nola on the mound against Gavin Williams with first pitch at 7:10. Elsewhere in town, we're days away from the NBA draft lottery, where the Sixers looking to keep their pick, has to fall the top 6. President of Basketball Operations Daryl Morey joined us on the Mike Missanelli Show, talked through a lot of things, including Morey's belief that the best of Joel Embiid is still there.
No, I don't think that's written. I don't think we know that. I think MVP Joel Embiid is still potentially there. He's in an age where lots of players still play to their prime. He's in an age where lots of players, even with issues, have come back and played at a high level. So, no, I do not think that.
You can hear the whole interview on 975thefanatic.com. And, of course, you can check it out on our YouTube page as well, 975 The Fanatic. This update is brought to you by the PGA Tour's Truist Championship. The Truist Championship is at the Philadelphia Cricket Club's Wiz Aiken Course, May 7th through the 11th. Tickets are on sale now at truistchampionship.com. That's truistchampionship.com. I'm Ray Dunn in your home for Truist Championship coverage, 975 The Fanatic and 975thefanatic.com.
Hall of Fame.
Let's go to Bill for an update on the Truist Championship, where we broadcasted from yesterday. We have not even followed what's going on today. Rain has been steady was it steady all day they've been playing in, or no?
I guess so. They teed off earlier, so I don't know if they beat the rain, but I think it's been at least like showering all day. A little bit tougher of a day. Probably some harder pin placements. We talked to the groundskeeper yesterday saying that the rough's going to keep growing in. Keith Mitchell, who shot a 61 yesterday, finishes with a 67 today. So he's still in the lead, but he's 12 under. Right behind him, Ray's boy Shane Lowry.
Oh.
Yes.
11 under.
Let's go. I'm going back tomorrow.
That's right. After shooting a 65 today.
You're going to heckle him?
I'm going to celebrate him. It's an Irishman making a difference right there.
Shane, I got a Guinness for you.
Yep.
That would be a great thing to yell at him. I'm sure he'd love it.
Yeah, I'm sure he would.
The U-Zone, Ricky Fowler. It's a joke if you missed it. The U. Oh, Oklahoma State. Mike understood.
Yeah.
Mike understood. But how about this? Rory McIlroy still in the running here. He's tied for 5th at 7 under.
You know what the best part of this whole thing is? You know, we go as people who have ever been fortunate enough to play Philly cricket. You go, oh man, Philly cricket. Oh Jesus, it beat the hell out of me.
Yeah, not these guys.
These guys are going to go 30 under on it.
They're dominating it, man.
These guys, it's a drop in the bucket. We go, oh my God, Philly cricket. They got a par 3 there. That's unbelievable.
Well, it just goes back now to our whole discussion about the Masters. Could you win if you started on the green at Augusta?
Yeah.
Because these guys, what they're doing to these courses that we think are hard.
Yeah.
What are the courses that are actually hard? Like, if we golfed Augusta.
The only courses that are hard are courses that can get you into trouble. Now, this is a challenging course, and it's long for anybody of our caliber is going to play it. But those guys see wide open fairways. They don't miss fairways. Like
No.
when you hit fairways, it's a short iron in. Those guys are deadly with every professional golfer is deadly with a short iron.
Yeah, they're hitting a ton of greens.
They can't get in trouble. They can't go wayward.
Ton of greens in regulation, Ray. But if you're going back this weekend, you're going to see a hell of a weekend because just listen to these names who are in the top 5 right now. You got Patrick Cantley, Colin Morikawa, Rory McIlroy, Justin Thomas, Ricky Fowler, Shane Lowry, and Keith Mitchell in the leaderboard. Like, this is going to be a great weekend of golf. Right here in Philadelphia.
Yeah, how about that? I'm going to try to weasel my way into a suite tomorrow.
Oh, you don't have to weasel.
My man.
You don't have to weasel. Just like Ray was saying that everywhere they walked, there was a Ricky Bowe. Everywhere we were walking back to the shuttle. Hey, Mikey Miss. Is that Mikey Miss?
Yeah, it wasn't as many of those as Ricky Bowe's.
They were like, wait a second. Who's that guy with Bill Colarulo? Is that Bill Colarulo over there? In the tight pants?
It was great with Ricky because Ricky tried so hard. It was very kind of him. When someone was like, oh, Ricky, listen to you every day. He's like, you know Ray Dunn? Guy was the nicest way he could. Oh, yeah. No shot. Had zero idea who I was.
Oh, right.
Zero
That's
idea
a
who I was.
temporary thing, my man.
So funny.
That's so temp. Yeah, Eric Chavez is my man. He played third base for the Athletics in Moneyball area. We had him on yesterday, Eric Chavez.
Oh, yeah, he was no, it was Justin, right?
Oh, it was Eric Chavez.
No, it was Eric. Yeah, he's giving you the series name there.
His name was Eric Chavez.
Eric Chavez came on.
Who else?
You were locked in, man. You were locked
Wait, who was the guy who was the pride of Jenkintown?
Jim Smith.
Jim.
He's the pro there.
Jim.
Yeah, so Justin was who?
Justin Thomas. I think he
Went right by you.
Listen, we met a lot of people yesterday, you know?
Oh, yeah.
I don't know, Bill. Sometimes I go. Let's go back to the phones. Let's go to Don in Huntington Valley. Don, you're on 97.5 The Fanatic. Don.
What's up, Mike?
What's up, Donnie? How you doing?
Yeah, I can't complain. So I just wanted to talk about the Phillies real quick and how they've been doing things a little bit differently for a change, and it's actually made me quite happy. So over the last few years, in the playoffs, in the postseason, we've relied on the home run ball and failed.
Mm-hmm.
And our bats get cold and we can't manufacture runs.
Yep.
The last few days, we've played small ball and manufactured runs, and we've been winning baseball games. And I do not think it's a coincidence.
Yeah, well, you're right. they have won games playing small ball, using the whole field, going the other way. I like guys that have mastered hitting it between that first and second base hole. They're getting a lot of hits that way. Yeah, because they're beating a shift.
That ball behind the runner.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. They're hitting behind the runner, and they're taking advantage of people are shifting them up the middle, and they got a big hole there, and they're taking advantage of it. Alec Boehm loves
Absolutely.
that. That's his whole career, trying to hit the ball there.
Yeah. But the fact that we're doing it and not relying on a home run, I mean, we happened to get one last night from Bryson Stott, but, I mean, I grew up where you were taught to hit gaps and home runs were mistakes.
Yeah, that's not the way the game is now, though. I'll take home runs every single time. Don't get me wrong. But I get you in this streak. I think to get the confidence to hit home runs, you got to hit it this way and feel that you're a good hitter. That's what I think the benefit of it is.
100%.
Yeah. All right, brother. What else you got?
All right, have a good one.
All right, man. I thought you had wow.
I think he was about to say.
He was ready to say something when I hit the drop. I was in mid drop.
Maybe he was telling us a story about his mom.
He was.
I don't know.
Yeah, that's a bad by me.
But to his point,
I can't believe I was looking forward to mom stories today.
I know, because you realize like you could have even cheaped out on the gift a little bit if you called your mom and said, "Hey, heads up, I'm about to shout you out on the air," and then you tell this wonderful story about your mom.
What other fictional mom? Right, how about George Costanza's mom?
For best?
Oh, or worst?
Oh, worst, yeah. I'll go worst on that one for sure. I thought we were going back to best. I was like,
who goes around feeling other people's material? What can be gained by feeling someone else's material?
The Costanza, Mrs. Costanza, the only way I can think of.
Pretty good. Bill, you wouldn't know.
I wouldn't know it.
That was pretty good imitation.
The only one, the one that I think of the most with her is her role in the contest in that episode. That, to me, is the ultimate Mrs. Costanza storyline where she ends up in the hospital.
I come in and I see my son abusing his body like an amusement park.
Is this still Seinfeld?
Bill, at least make an attempt. At least make like when you go home. It's on for 3 straight hours after you go home.
I got the kids tonight, Mike.
The kids.
I'm watching
not tonight.
I'm going to start watching Mobland. I told you I watched the first 20 minutes and I'm in. So that's what I'm doing.
All right.
Another bad TV mom I was thinking of.
Who's that?
Cersei Lannister. Could be a good one. I know she was like kind of protective of her kids, but still
cheating with the brother.
Yeah, and manipulative a little bit.
Oh, Cersei was terrible. Shame.
That was a
shame.
I hated that episode.
Why?
That was a tough episode to watch.
Why? Why was it tough? You hated Cersei.
No, I liked Cersei a little bit.
Her?
But
how could you like her?
No,
she was an evil conniver.
I liked her character in that it was a complex character. But that particular episode was tough to watch, where they make her walk all the way to the whatever it was now, the church or whatever, and they're spitting on her and throwing things at her. Oh, it was terrible.
She deserved it. Shame.
Shame. She got her payback, though, didn't she?
I guess she did.
Yes, she did.
I mean, how could you like knock a little kid off a ledge? Because you would, hey, poor kid.
Oh, the brother did.
He paralyzed the kid.
Jamie did that.
Yeah, Jamie, but he was with her.
They were in love, Mike.
They were in love.
Right.
All right, this brings me back to the question. Is it wrong to date a friend's ex?
100%. I don't think there's a scenario that you could describe for me where it would be acceptable.
Suppose you fell in love. You were in love. You realized that match was not made in heaven, but yours was.
Nah, you can't do it.
No, I feel the same way. I don't think you can even go there. But, if there's a spark, Ray, how you feel about that as a youngin'?
I'm just curious what we're labeling X here.
Oh, somebody had a girlfriend for a year. Just say a year.
Yeah, okay, a year probably not.
Oh, so a couple dates, yes?
Yeah, that I think
a couple dates where it fizzles out, and I mean mostly I would say if the other person was if your friend was no longer interested and they move on,
that's what I'm saying. Even your friend was no longer interested. So suppose after a year your friend was no longer interested.
Yeah, but a year there was serious time and emotion invested in it.
All right, let's do this then. A year, They're not. They're clearly not made to be together. You wait 6 months.
No, doesn't matter how long you wait.
You wait a year.
Oh.
You wait a year. 6 months to a year.
Well, okay. So if they break up and you're immediately like, all right, I have to wait 6 months, that's a no.
What?
That it has
What
to
do
be
you
something realized later in time. I don't think it's like, oh, sweet, they broke up. It's my opportunity. I don't think that's how that goes. I think if that's your way of doing it, I think that's a bad way.
So what's in your head would actually not be proper? Like a plan in your head? Well, listen, I have to wait at least 6 months. In 6 months, I'll take a shot. If it doesn't come forward.
I don't think that there's pure intention if you hear they break up and your first thought is, sweet. That, to me, is not pure intention.
Really?
Yeah.
Even though you're waiting 6 months, you're paying your penance.
It's not about how long you wait.
Sure it is.
Principle here.
No. It's about how long you wait.
No. If somebody dated, I think where I would draw the line would be if they dated for an extended period of time, if they exchanged the I love yous, I don't think that you could get there's nothing that could make that right at that point.
I will say, to push back on that notion for a second, there are people that drop the I love you who don't understand what they're saying.
Oh, exactly. They do it for sexual reasons.
But
well,
even
no,
still,
I'm not even saying.
I'm telling you.
I'm not saying that. I'm saying that there are some people that just don't understand.
Will you still love me tomorrow?
You know, a lot of guys have dropped the I love yous to just,
I don't know, Ray. I just don't think it's ever acceptable.
Oh, I do. I think it's acceptable if you
Have
wait.
you ever dated a best friend's girl?
No. But I'm telling you, if there's a time period, if two people clearly don't belong together and they're just out as free agents, if you wait 6 months to a year, what's wrong with that? Because then you're going to run it. It's going to be awkward. I can see that part of it.
Well, you're not going to be able to be friends with that person.
That's what I
anymore.
mean.
No, you probably still
No. Bill's got a point there. Could you still be friends with that person then? So you might be sacrificing the friendship for a deeper friendship of love.
Nah, violation.
All right.
I can't get behind it.
610-632-0975. When we come back, we're going to play the greatest hits of Daryl Morey from yesterday. And also, we have a couple phone calls on the line. We'll get to you. It's the Mike Missanelli Show coming down the home stretch.
Andrew Salciunas.
Mike Missanelli Show, 97.5 The Fanatic. We just had a caller who wanted to make a point that his ex-wife is married to his best friend.
Yeah, he dropped off, though.
He did drop off. Is he still call him his best friend? Yeah, some people are mature enough to get past it, man. Some people are mature enough to go, you know what? They belong together. I didn't belong with her. He can still be my best friend. You know, that's an open-minded guy, Bill.
Maybe.
Not feeling it?
I just don't know how
you're old school,
you maintain the friendship.
You're an old school guy.
Now, I've seen a scenario where husband and wife, the husband dies, the other person's wife dies, and then the two of them get together later in life. That's more acceptable. They're dead.
They're dead.
Don't you think, Ray?
I mean, if you want to say it in the most cruel way possible, sure, yeah, that's.
Well, they need each other. You know, it's almost like it reminds them of their prior.
Why would you want to deprive somebody of happiness because of some like archaic little thought process?
It's not archaic.
It's kind of archaic. If you're mature enough to handle it.
I guess we also, if we're diving deeper into this conversation, I guess you also have to see how the breakup occurred.
Uh-huh.
If it was a mutual, we're just not right for each other type of breakup. But what if, like, I don't know, the guy cheated on the girl? You know, is it okay for the girl's best friend to then date him later on? It's like, yo, he cheated on me. I don't know. I don't know.
I think there are circumstances to this. I don't think there's a flat yes/no in this one.
No, I think you're right. I think that there's a time element here. There's a love element.
Yeah, you're a hopeless romantic, Mike. I can tell.
I'm just saying, like, you know, who am I to judge? I try not to judge. You know, people want to be together. They want to be together. All right, we got Ron. Ron's back with us. All right, Ron, his wife is dating his best friend. Ron?
That sounds like a...
Ron, what?
Mussanelli.
What's up, Ron?
I'm sorry, I went through the guy tunnel.
What's
so
going
that's
on?
why I lost you.
Oh, okay. All right. I got you.
We grew up together. He's my best friend. Yeah, I lived in Pinehurst, actually.
Uh-huh.
Moved back up to Pennsylvania. Yeah, they kind of fell in love with each other. They never cheated. No,
Uh-huh.
they never cheated on me.
Yeah.
Or anything like that. But, yeah, they fell in love with each other. And what was I supposed to do, you know?
Yeah, I mean, you handle like a mature adult.
Yeah. I mean, that's the way you take it, you know? And guess what? I'm just leaving, I guess, it's my house in the Poconos because, you know, I got two housewives. Each one of my wives got each one of my houses. And they're selling it. So he's up there fixing it up, and I went up there to a contractor, you know? But, hey.
All right, then, hold on a second. Do you talk congenially with the guy?
Oh, yeah, we're best friends.
Best friends. You're still best friends.
Yes. We just got, yeah.
See, I don't begrudge. I don't know if he could ever be my best friend again. I wouldn't feel comfortable with that. That I've been and I've slept with somebody he's now sleeping with, and now I got to face him. I don't know about that one. You know.
But she never cheated on me. He never cheated on her. You know, while we were married.
Yeah.
And everything.
Okay.
So that's all that mattered to me.
All right.
You
Well,
know,
you're a mature
if
man.
They cheated. Yeah, if they cheated, that'd be a different story.
I got you.
You know,
Uh-huh.
but other than that, you know, it's fine. It's better. You know, hey, people fall in love with each other so bad. We got 3 kids together, and guess what? I mean, everything's fine. You know, my mother just died Tuesday, and he came to the funeral. Yeah. Our family. I mean, when his family found out, because we used to go to the shore together, to the mountain together, and when his family found out, you know, his brothers and stuff and his sister, they were kicked off.
Uh-huh.
I mean, and his father despised him, you know, for doing it. It's like, you're taking your best friend's wife, and breaking up his marriage.
Yeah, I hear you.
But he tried to get me to stay around and, you know, try and make it work, and I said no, and I went back. You know, I let it go, and I moved back to Pinehurst. And I got remarried.
Good for you.
And that one didn't work out too good either. But hey,
that didn't work out. All right, well. Yeah.
Hey, Mike.
Yeah. What happened? I'm going through another.
Maybe going through another tunnel.
I am
here you go.
so glad you are back. All right, you take care. God bless.
All right, buddy. Thank you,
right.
Ronnie. All right, appreciate it. I don't know what he said prior to that.
I think he was just happy you're back. He's probably saying something like that.
Oh, okay.
It's probably like, Mike,
right.
when you left, I stopped listening.
Right.
And I'm so glad you're back.
I got to hear. This is one thing we didn't hear from Daryl from yesterday when I called him up on the veteran players that he stockpiled, which I thought was a mistake from the jump because he had done it the year before and it was a mistake. So Daryl Morey, too, we have not heard yet today. And I said I broached the subject of him being kind of like you should know ahead of time before you bring in older dudes that they're not going to last the season. So here's what he had to say.
Obviously, we came in with the third best odds to win the title last year in Vegas. And, my thinking was there as well, was how do I get this group healthy and into the playoffs? How do I have playoff-level players? And generally, those are players with playoff experience, ones that sort of round out, can shoot, things like that. What I did not do well was make sure we have the youth and athleticism to get through the regular season and put us in that position. And that's something we will do next year.
All right, so his methodology, Bill. You agree with that methodology as the way he framed it, that they needed veteran players to subordinate what they had in their starting lineup?
Well, it's hard to agree with it now because it didn't work.
At the time, did you agree with it? He said guys that could shoot, guys that could do that. Like, you're talking about Eric Gordon and Kyle Lowry. By NBA standards, they are ancient guys. Ancient. Not older.
Now, I was on record. I liked the Paul George signing, but at the time, I didn't want Kyle Lowry back. I thought that was a mistake, and I did think some of these older guys were a mistake, but I was hopeful that your big three was going to be so good that the supporting cast wasn't going to matter as much, and that was completely wrong.
All right, let's go to Glenn in Wallingford. Glenn, you're on 97.5 The Fanatic. Glenn.
Hey, what's going on?
What's up, Glenn?
Nick Batum was a guy who was good while he was here, who was an older guy. But most of the guys who they kept over the last 2 years who were older definitely did not, work out.
Yeah, but even Batum was older. He had a couple flashes. He was an older player that really didn't help you that much.
But my point is, he was the best of that
Yeah,
group.
you're right. You're right. He was the best of that group.
But so Justin Edwards is a guy you've got to keep, right? I mean, the guy can just flat out shoot. I mean, I don't know if he's going to ever make be a starter in this league, but I mean, he's a guy who could definitely fill it up. Who's young and gives you energy, and could, you don't have to worry about maybe getting hurt every other week
Well, he said in the interview that
year, right?
that Justin Edwards is one of the younger guys that'll be with the team next year, and Ray's happy about that because Ray loves himself some Justin Edwards. Me, I go, come on. All right.
Wow. Hey, listen.
Yeah.
They have to fill out this roster. It's going to be hard to do because of the cap constraints, I guess.
Uh-huh.
But but so real quick, I'll give you my thing. So in college, my best friend played basketball locally. He ended up, we all became friends with all the guys on his team and everything like that. So one of his friends on the basketball team, him and his girlfriend had dated after college, and then they broke up. And then about 2 years after that, and I was friendly with the guy, so I actually worked with him for a little bit. And then, but they had broken up. And 2 years later, we ended up dating and ended up getting married. So that's again, we weren't best friends, but we were, friends. It all worked out. It was 25 years, 26 years later, I'm still married.
Good, man. See that?
I don't know what he's doing.
See? There you go. So
we got to get Bill watching some Seinfeld. What's up with that?
Yeah, Bill's a weirdo. I am convinced Bill is a weirdo. Like all these years, like I didn't watch Seinfeld when it was on regular TV because I wasn't a sitcom guy, but I picked it up. It's on all the time. You can't help but watch it. And Bill seems to have no interest in it, which is really weird to me.
I don't find Jerry Seinfeld that funny.
It's not about Jerry Seinfeld. It's about the whole writing of the show. It's a Larry David show. You like Curb Your Enthusiasm?
Love it.
Okay, well, it's the same kind of writing.
Oh, you would like Seinfeld. Absolutely.
I don't know. I probably would. It's just
I don't understand. Like, what would steer you away? Like, why would you have no? It's the most successful. I guess you can call it a sitcom, but it's more than that. It's different than a sitcom. It's the most successful. Like, how could you even not be curious about it?
I wouldn't even know where to start. There's so many episodes. I don't know.
It's not one.
I went down to the store, and then she came out of nowhere. I can't get behind the Jerry. He doesn't do it for me.
Right. Who's the most important? The two most important characters on the show.
What is it?
Costanza and Kramer?
Yeah, of course. It's Costanza and Kramer, right? Jerry actually is a really good comedic actor in it, but his role is to support the punchlines of George and Kramer.
He's my fourth favorite on the Seinfeld.
And he's
Jerry?
Jerry.
And he's fun, and it's not about Jerry. It's called Seinfeld, but it's really not about Jerry.
I can't believe it,
It's
Ryan.
about.
I'm your least favorite. I don't know. It's just,
I give the hell up.
And even Kramer, like I've seen it, and it's just like so over the top, exaggerated. He opens the door and he comes stumbling in. I don't know. Come on.
You think it's just all
You
about?
can take your shots at Jerry
It
Seinfeld.
looks like it's a dumb
And certainly take your shots at Seinfeld, the actor. But so help me, you come after the character of Kramer.
He's got a taint, Bill. And he'll never watch it. I can tell. He's got a serious taint about this whole thing now. It's very weird, man. It's totally weird. You don't like Jerry Seinfeld?
Listen, I love shows. I watch
I don't like him
every.
either. I
you
actually
name
don't
a
like
show.
Jerry Seinfeld either.
But you name a show, I've seen it.
Like, I'm not a fan of his comedy. I would never see him as a stand-up. But the show works. It's like the perfect synchronicity.
But like, there's so many other shows going. For me to go back and invest my time in a
All you
show
have to
from
do
the
is see
90s.
it once. You watch one episode, you get, that was pretty clever. There were 3 different storylines there. Yeah, this is.
I do love Curb Your Enthusiasm.
You don't open your mind to anything.
I do love Curb Your Enthusiasm. I just don't know if I have the time to go back. And then I've been hearing, this is the other part I have dilemmas with. And someone already said in the YouTube, like, don't start on season 1. It's like, all right, when do you start?
You don't have to start on season 1 or 2 or 3. You could just tune in and get the joke.
But I don't want. It's on Netflix. So where do I start on Netflix?
It's not on Netflix. It's on Comedy Central every day. Every day from 2 o'clock to 5 o'clock. 3 hours worth. 3 hours. One episode. 3 hours.
Commercials? I'm watching on Netflix, but where do I start? Someone tell me where to start on Netflix. And
You
I'll
don't
do
have
it.
to start. It doesn't matter where you start. That's
Well,
what
people
I'm
are like,
trying to
don't watch
tell
season
you.
1. Season 1 wasn't good.
Don't even listen to people. Just tune into an episode, and you'll see 3 different writing storylines of comedy.
All right. I'll let you know.
Oh, my God. You're so irritating.
I didn't
You
mind
really
him in
are. You're totally irritating,
in
man.
The Bee's Life, whatever that movie was.
Bee Movie?
The Bee Movie.
Oh, I didn't see that.
Seinfeld wasn't bad
I
in
don't
that.
see that any of that stuff. Who cares about that stuff?
Bee Movie.
The sitcom was genius. All right. Thanks to everybody for listening today. We had a really good time. And again, it's Mother's Day. So be loving to your mother. Do something really special for all the things that she has done for you. And have a great weekend, everybody. We'll talk to you next week. Bye-bye.